It's we're gonna do Saturday Funday. We'll do some news, like a little bit of news, a little bit of light news, you know. But outside of that, I'm gonna be doing some fun shit, some fun reacts. Noah's gonna be gone for a little bit, and then he's gonna come back. And when he comes back, we'll do banana peels as well. What is this? Hassan finally meets LeBron. Gemma Lemon. What is this?
Gemma Lemon.
If LeBron played basketball with me one time, he would be taken aback by my fucking good ass vibes. He's like, I will give you the secrets. This is how you will be able to dunk like me. I accidentally call him dad. There's a brief moment where he pauses and he says, it's okay, my son. And then it's like, we have a real connection in that moment. Maybe kissing a little bit. And then I'm going to pour honey on him.
Oh, wow. Oh,
that was amazing.
Holy cow.
Oh my God. That was amazing. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't even remember saying any of those words.
Somebody did, damn.
Yeah, there was just a lot of truth that came out of me, and I didn't even realize, like, I didn't even think that I was saying those words. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of happened. Yeah,
you know, it's just you're getting in touch with your real desires.
Yeah, you can't hide that sort of feeling. It's just like it's sheltered. I dug deep there, you know. Bro blacked out. Yeah, I did. But yeah, we'll do some fun shit. We worked out this morning. Noah got a workout in, so that was good, you know. And here we are. That's it. It's time to blast off. Lolo is cheating. Yeah, I saw this. Saw Lolo in person, but fumbled and didn't say hi. He was with a lady, so I assume he's cheating on Hassan. Looking into this, messed up. Actually messed up. Yeah, not just with that lady, clearly. He's hanging out with like real socialists and shit. Is fucked up. But you know what? I got Noah. I've already replaced Alexander.
When I see Alex in New York again, next time I see him, I'll let him know that I took you.
Yeah.
You're mine now. And he'll know.
Yeah. He's gone. He's done. NMP fangirling over KSI.
Yes! Yes! I wanted this the whole time!
Shut the fuck up. He performed Thick of It? No, he didn't. I can't tell if he was like memeing or if he was actually trying and then like got genuinely upset when people made fun of him for it. Like what is the Thick of It lore here, chat? You guys probably know a little bit better.
It's a great TV show.
Oh my God, you're right.
It is a really good
TV
show.
It is a really good,
funny TV show.
It is. That song was nominated for a Brit. What are they doing over there, bro? What are they doing? No, it wasn't. Shut up.
Please!
Is this like content creator tweaker?
This is my buddy, an
MP. Please!
But the Thick of It song is like so bad. Have you heard it?
No. So I'm about to hear it.
You're about to hear it.
Live
and you'll
react.
You'll understand why. Like it's like kind of a meme where people either hype it up a lot or KSI's England's Kendrick. Stop, dude. That is so disrespectful. Look at Blackboy. Look at Max. Look at Max running a legendary Olympic run, okay? Going on a tear with some of England's best fucking artists. And you're saying this on the other hand. Like that is Britophobia that I will not stand for, okay? You cannot say that, dude. That is disrespectful to all parties involved. That's disrespectful to Kendrick. That's disrespectful to the entire nation. Like, I love shitting on England, okay? I love shitting on the British, but this is a bridge too far. How dare you?
Please, turn this shit up. Oro, don't mute, bitch.
Final form.
It's crazy that a bunch of fucking content creators can do this, by the way. Like, look at this. This is a real...
Yeah, it's filling out.
There's a real-ass stadium that is, like, slammed. And I assume... How many views did this shit get, chat? Wembley Stadium.
How the story goes. Here we go. Come on, chat. How the story goes. I'm in the thick of it. Everybody knows.
They know me where it snows. I skied in and they froze. I don't know nothing but no ice. I'm just cold.
Here we go. Chat, come on. From the screen to the ring to the pin to the king.
Children in Need. Yeah, except, you know...
The song or the event?
No, the event. It's a massive charity event. It's great. Gotta show them the video. I don't want to do that to Noah. I don't want to do that to Noah.
Yeah, but you saw Tweaker, right?
Tweaker?
Yeah, Jello, Leangelo Ball song.
Oh, but that song is actually good though.
Yeah, that song goes. I mean,
I like that song.
Yeah,
that's like a.
Well, that's what I meant when I said this is content creator tweaker. Like this is.
No, this is. I would not compare.
You
like
compare.
that song at least like is specifically crafted for a different era. Like that song would have gone hard on like NBA 2K.
Listen,
I don't know,
man,
back in like 2000.
I mean, they like made it the anthem of the All Star. Look, like every locker room I knew when it came out was going nuts with it. Yeah, Tweaker goes.
Tweaker is for millennials, like for sure.
Tweaker's a millennial.
But
Zoomer.
in the thick of it is like I don't know who it's for. Here, okay, you know what? I'm gonna show it to you. Fuck it. Here, this is it. Sorry, I'm done. I'm done. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. We're blasting.
Well, now I know what to play when I need to get you to tell me secrets.
Yeah, no, this is a CIA interrogation technique. This is a CIA torture. Please replace XQ's goalie next year. No, I will not be. Also. Chat, I would do some shit like this, even though I don't like taking time off. They don't ask me. I'm not tight with the British content creators like that, and I perhaps am a little too controversial for them, or at least I'm not like big enough to not care about that controversy.
You're huge.
No,
you can lift so much. You're so much bigger than me.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, I am.
You're like
I am size wise very big. Also, I'm not like a huge. I'm not. What do you call it? Big into football anyway. I'm not like a footy guy. Footy guy. If I was like, if they were doing a basketball one, I'm sure I would get invited to that. But I am not a gooner.
You should be a gooner.
Weren't you supposed to have Zerka on Fear and last year, but you slept in? That's the one time. That literally is the only time I've ever missed. That's the only time I've ever missed like a previous obligation, a content thing that I set up, because that's how badly I was like fucked up by the Zero Gym Insta stories this week. You slacking on man cheek posting? I know I haven't really been posting.
He was doing it out of respect for me. I was just like, I was clowning on him so hard in the workout. I was making him look so whack, so weak,
Noah's so brolic
that he just like couldn't. He couldn't. He couldn't let you guys in on that.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I was embarrassed. Nah, after your FaZe Lazy tournament collab, you need to get a basketball trainer. Okay, shut the fuck up. Okay. Like, shut the fuck up. Speed assist the Kai.
Speed, hit it!
I don't understand why, like...
Speed, hit it!
Wait, sorry, I want to pause it right here. I want to see... Oh, we can't see. I just want to see if anybody's covering him. No, that looks so messy.
That's crazy that he's just, like, walked.
Exactly.
Like, no interest whatsoever in intercepting.
He's just,
XQC
whatever.
was so bad, Lamau. Yeah.
That puts it in the roof of the net, and Speed might not be the most prolific finisher, but he can provide like nobody else.
Why are they saying he's not the most prolific finisher?
What a move from the Americans!
What a move from the Americans!
Since the last game,
is the
Kai
whole
has
thing
made
like
some
Americans
huge
versus
steps.
Brits? Is that
No,
the idea?
I think it's like, is it YouTube versus Twitch, chat? Is that what it is? No. It might be. Is it No. Is it Americans versus Brits? I don't know. I literally don't follow this. No, because Nico is on the same team, and Nico is like, he's British. Phantom is American, obviously. What is the... Oh, it's just Sidemen versus YouTube.
What's
oh.
Sidemen?
So Sidemen is like the biggest British... Wait, but then Sidemen versus YouTube, but that doesn't make sense because then what do you call it? They got Jason on the Sidemen team.
I mean, maybe it's...
Put it in the mixer for someone else who's maybe
no.
a more natural finisher, and say what you like about Kai Hasanabi. Speed, hit it!
Sidemen and Friends versus YouTube. All right, nice. Sidemen and Friends versus YouTube. Max shouted you out. Yeah, I saw that. I have it right here. Hold on, I'm gonna show you in a second. Commentators cooking Logan Paul for being a Trump supporter. Oh, that's awesome. That's funny. Yeah, I've made fun of the British too much. That's why I don't get invited to this stuff. Yeah. You could have been there if you were into footy. That's right. It's true. It's true, lads. I don't know how to play soccer. Maybe I'm like,
Do you
maybe
think these guys do?
no, some of them do. No, some of them do.
do you
Some of them
see-
do. Some of them do. Like XG doesn't, but like fucking Speed is actually pretty decent.
Yeah. Well,
Logan
XQC
is
is clearly, he's like fucking like Buffon. He's like he's a He's a top G goalie.
Buffon.
WWE wrestler and a Trump supporter, which could be the first sign of CTE.
Logan Paul is Logan Paul's a wrestler and a Trump supporter. That could be the first sign of CTE. Is hilarious.
That is really good.
That is great. I like that. Yeah. Could be the first sign of CTE. Is because you didn't mourn the queen when she died at the ripe young age of 15 million. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, listen, she was a fine bird and a proper one.
Speed football lore. He gets in a lot of good positions, but always misses the goal when he shoots. He's actually got good vision for the game, dribbling wise, but his shooting is really bad. Hence the commentator's comment. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Steven tries is so funny as a commentator. Speed has horrible finishes. So a lot of you guys watch this, huh? Like I genuinely don't know anything about this. Like I was working out while this was happening, so I don't know. I don't know much about footy, and I don't so I always miss this whenever they do it. What was the final score, chat? What was the final score? Sketch won MVP. Watch the highlights. Sketch with the save. Sketch proves everyone wrong and saves Mini Mr. Penalty. What are you doing then?
Right,
Sketch saved a penalty.
The banker. It's just which corner he's putting it in.
Stick it on target, it goes in.
Wait, it was 9-9. Went to the pens. 5-4 in penalty. Fucking hell.
Simon!
That's crazy.
That's a good save. That was a good save.
I can't believe it!
I want to see if he like telegraphed where he was putting that.
Simon, there's no way.
Like,
This is the most British looking man of all time.
that is like the median British.
When
guy.
I see when I think
when you
of
say bloke,
if
that's who pops
if
into
I
your
closed
head.
my eyes and I thought like imagine a British man,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
would
yeah.
immediately
Wait, no, it's not.
pop
Close
up.
your eyes.
Yeah.
Imagine a bloke.
Yeah, this is it. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing
Imagine
him
a
right now.
chav.
Down to the hair and everything. It's a proper bloke.
Stick it on target, it goes in.
Well, I mean the one.
Simon!
Yeah, I mean he showed a little. But no,
Okay,
still.
dude, that's
I mean,
crazy.
That's all,
You're-
but no, it's a good save. It was a good save. It was a good
yeah,
save.
this is like when I look at this man, I think of the Spod Bros or whatever it's called. Like I think like, oh, could I get some fucking tuna in my spud?
No, I want the P-barm.
Yeah.
I want
some tuna and
wet
mushy
pea- I want
peas
the
in
wet
my
pea
fucking
barn.
spud, lad. Yeah. Birmingham.
Yeah, wait, what was the scran for this match? What was the footy scran?
Oh no.
I need to know what they were eating. I need to know if they actually, if you do like a whole like Mimi ass soccer game in a stadium and you don't have wet pea barm, then I don't really know what you're doing.
You gotta do ass cheeks for
Like
scran.
you need to have like.
But they think, but the
oh
problem
wait,
is,
people are putting out. It might just be feastable.
okay, the problem is, okay, that makes sense.
That would make a lot of sense.
That would
but
make
s-
sense.
But
and
it would be.
It is meta. It goes along with the meta of ass
but
cheeks
also,
food.
but Feastables, wet pea, whatever it's called. That to me is the future of Mr. Beast in England. If he wants to take over England like he took over the U.S., that's how you do it. Do that. Make that. Everybody loves the wet pea stuff on bread.
Yeah. Culture shaming 2025. You're a degenerate, brother. Okay, bro. If we can't make fun of fucking British culture, what can
I'm
we
gonna
make
be honest
fun
with
of?
you. Yeah, if you can't make fun of British food, then
It's
I
like-
really don't know what is like.
It's like
what
saying,
can you make fun
it's
of?
like saying Americans are fucking fat diabetics
Yeah,
who
wait,
love burger.
Sorry, burger off limits.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, sorry, you're making fun of burger? That's my
Yeah.
culture.
How dare you?
Have
How dare you make
considered
fun
that
of
that
burger?
Actually, what is your costume is my culture. And the culture is being like really fat in bed.
Can
and
you
getting
imagine?
DoorDash.
Can you imagine Americans just being like, "Excuse me,
Excuse me.
you're coming across real anti-American."
You're not allowed to talk about Maccas that way.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing it.
Yeah,
like
why are you
Australian.
British?
But like it's no, still that's the. I mean, it's attack burger.
Two people who always deserve the slander is the French and the British. Americans too.
Yeah, America. Sorry, America.
Yeah.
Everybody like everybody's like, oh, the British deserve to be made fun of the most or whatever, and it's like that's true if you're American. Everybody else should just come to us.
XQC's offline chat was begging to be put out of their misery. It seems just kill me already. Yeah, I mean, but like, what's the expectation? You thought that like he was gonna pop off or something? Like I don't understand. Did he hype it up? Like that man has no cardio, dude. He literally does not move. Like he just does not. The only time he
That's
moves,
why he thought you don't move.
Yeah, he started coughing blood after jogging for 40 seconds. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like he is the definition of a frail boy.
He's min-maxing. He's put all his stats in the wrong place.
Yeah. Last year he got a
incorrect.
0.3 out of 10 rating in FOTMob. Oh, they have like official ratings too.
Oh, they have like a FIFA, like a game of
He
the
has
man.
an injury on his leg/knee something. Yeah, probably from walking. He used to be pretty active actually doing flips and shit. Yeah, he used to like skate too, no? But I'm saying like for the past 5 to 6 years, I don't think he's moved quite
Also,
a bit.
I think if you really wanted to see somebody like die on a... Actually, wait, no, this is an awesome story that I have. This is like one of the funnier stories that I can tell, which is that in 2017, Vice News, when I worked there, they had an office field day. And it was the middle of June. So it's like 90 something degrees. And it was in McCarran Park in Williamsburg. I think it was McCarran, but it was in Williamsburg. And like at that point, like I don't think I'd worked out in years. I don't think I was really that active, but it was, you know, like you sign up for events and it's like, you know, running around the track, doing tug of war, whatever. And it's like your workplace, right? So you got to do something. And like, you cannot embarrass yourself in front of, I don't know, 100 coworkers. So I signed up for a race and I fully exerted myself. Like I was so scared of looking slow in front of my coworkers that I gave myself heat exhaustion.
That's amazing.
And so I went to the ER because I was like, you know, out of shape, fucking awful. It was terrible. But so my friend Mimi accompanies me. We get to the ER and I'm fine. You know, they give me some fluids, whatever. But the funny part is that then I look at my phone and Vice was doing layoffs.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was hysterical.
You got owned twice.
No, I was like fat and out of shape at the office field day. And then it was like everybody was extremely unhappy because they saw that friends were losing jobs. It was
to be fair to him,
man.
he has a perfect structure for being a keeper. Guy needs to hit the gym, get stronger as he let too many goals in purely because he has zero strength to stop the ball. Yeah, I saw one video where he literally like the ball bounces off the ground off of his head and then goes in. Like he actually stops a ball successfully and then knocks it back in with his head somehow. Do you have the clip for that? Like, this isn't even me shit talking to XUD because like, I want him to be, I want everybody to be healthy. I want him to like do more active shit, but demanding that streamers get healthy is a impossible task, to be fair. Oh, here it is. Oh, they gift it. It's like,
oh no.
Oh, that is devastating, bro.
Oh, that's so good.
Like it was not going to go in if he wasn't there, if he didn't dive.
I don't know. I mean, I can't see from the angle there, but
Simon sacrifices goal for Josh. He misses, but Toby saves
You can't
him.
take your eyes off it. Danny Aaron's nearly scored one of the most ridiculous own goals of all time. And then Toby.
That's
Josh, make your
crazy.
run.
Also, wait a minute.
well, all right.
Wait a minute. Let's take a look. All right. I'm calling it. Oh, no, it's not. It's not offsides. It's not. Nice. He picks it. He goes crazy. Nice pass. Nice pass from Simon to Josh. But Josh misses. Saved by Toby. That's crazy. The final penalty kick was literally put right in his hands and he still managed to let it in somehow. You should be banned for months. What? You know the offside rule that's crazy for an American? Dog, I'm Turkish. I grew up in Turkey. I just don't play. Like, football
Also,
is not
like,
my...
Sorry, it's offside is not like hidden knowledge.
No, but that was like when I was growing up, like that was the thing that was like apparently too hard to describe.
What? That's like the trick, you know, like from Inglourious Basterds. Like, oh, this is the tell if you're really Amerifat or not.
Yeah. Amerifats don't know what offsides is unless like
It's
they
about 15.
have played soccer, I guess.
You know, but forget
He
about
steps
that.
up for his penalty and scores YouTube All-Stars of the
Who's
Vinnet.
it?
Is
Sorry,
this one?
like, what's
Speed
who's-
to win it for
who's dressed
YouTube
like
All
Wes
Stars.
Anderson?
Make him put
I don't know. I don't know who this
Why
guy.
that?
Who is this guy, Chad?
What is that?
this one. Speed.
Is he the coach? A manager.
It looks like it's like King Cruel.
For YouTube.
That's crazy. He didn't even hit it that hard. How is that possible? And XUZ actually was right on it. He hit him and it's still, bro, what? Okay, he might be cursed. Like I think XUZ is just cursed, bro. How is that possible?
All right, in his defense, I would
Shit
say,
was just bouncing off this dude and going in.
if I like were not like a serious soccer player and somebody was like, do you want to play in front of a stadium of thousands of people and do you want to be in the most sensitive position of it? I say absolutely not. So it should be said, like, credit to him for willing to, perform feats of anti-athleticism like that in front of all those people. Because I would not.
Yeah,
would not.
This is a lot, you know?
That's a lot, dog.
Yeah. I think he might just be cursed. If you leave your worst player as goalkeeper, you are fucked.
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
like,
I don't it's just like,
I don't know if he's worse.
I just don't know enough about like I don't know enough about like how you can make this better. XG got hurt during the match taking a shot.
That's why you got subs.
I can't believe there's like a fucking 90,000 people. You know, you're playing soccer in front of 90,000 people. It's like, that's a lot, dude. Most Canadians are bad at soccer, making your ancestors cry with a lack of ball knowledge. I know. As a Turk, I think I still have like some epigenetic memories though. Like, cause I can dribble, and I feel like for someone who never plays soccer, being able to dribble is like fairly impressive.
Okay,
No?
so-
Can we watch this classic? No. It's not like you don't play Marble Rivals badly in front of 20,000 people.
He cooked you, dude.
Okay, that's why are you
Permaban gone.
Yeah, what
You're
the
done.
fuck? That's disrespectful. I play very well. Wait, why is he doing that? Why was he doing that?
He just got really excited.
He thinks he's him.
Also, somebody in your chat said that like basketball footwork isn't that different from soccer, and he's right. It's just like to me, like, basketball is a lot of cardio, especially full court, but like soccer is a whole other fucking level.
Breaking news: XQC banned from soccer worldwide. The real and glorious Basses tell is it asking an American to take a shot? I guess. Anyway, all right. What's your take on the argument that Canadians have been putting tariffs on the U.S. for years with no reason? What?
Well, I would assume there's some reason, but that's all I got to say.
What? Okay. Max shouted you out. Oh yeah, Playboy Max did. It was so funny. He shouted me out with what the fuck? Why?
Y'all said Dochi commented on Fred again shit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This how I know, bro. Dochi shit might just not be for some of the niggas in my chat, cause I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's apparently there's some Dochi drama because she said like she thinks it's a red flag if a dude that she's talking to is not like at least bisexual or something, and of course,
honestly, that's fire. That's a great line.
And of course, like all of the most annoying little children are freaking the fuck out about it.
Yo, that's so good. That's such a good like
who cares? Like,
that's such a great thing to say to an interviewer.
No, they were like, they were literally like,
So
I saw the comments. They're like, oh, another man hater. Oh, why can't we have like good wholesome role models or whatever? It's like, yo, you can.
It is cool how like something that would pass for like a funny joke in like an old Judd Apatow movie is now like, I'm sorry, libtard, are you trying to come at me? What? Like,
yeah,
like,
it's just like the
babies.
The people that used to say the SJWs are far too fucking sensitive are the most sensitive babies on the planet, dude. They are so unimaginably sensitive. It's crazy.
I know some niggas y'all don't be fucking with Dochi, but my aunts and my sisters both hit me up about that Dochi shit. And Hassan. It's a different audience. And this is why I be saying, bro.
Yeah, I really like the Dochi song that they made with Fred again has been stuck in my mind nonstop.
I'm not afraid to branch out and do shit with different artists, even though I might do shit with artists and it's like I might have said, oh, their music not necessarily for me, but it's for someone, bro. And I feel like working with a bunch of different artists, I gained so much perspective and like learn from how they make music, their process, that is good, regardless if I necessarily don't listen to them. I would love to do something with Dochi, you feel me? Even though that's not I don't really listen to her. You feel me? Just to see what she got type shit.
Yeah, he made a banger with Skepta yesterday. Yeah, he's killing it. Fred again was on Max's stream, yes, and they made an incredible song. I thought it was really, really good, and it's been stuck in my mind nonstop. Your take on the clashes on the coast of Syria, brother? My take on the clashes of the coast of Syria, go back to literally the first day where seemingly the HTS backed like coalition forces overthrew the Assad regime, and just like watch everything that I said when it was happening. There it is. Okay. The take remains because it came to fruition. I mean, I literally told you that this was going to happen. Okay. And it has happened. I said, we'll wait and see, but I'm not too confident that the former Al-Qaeda guy is going to be able to, not have another fucking civil war. Yeah, I mean, and it has happened. It's going on. It's devastating and it's awful. And the only thing that happens is the Syrian people suffer as always. Anyway, Dochi's pen game is so good. Denial is a river made me a fan. Did you see FaZe Lacey said free Palestine? I saw a TikTok of it. I didn't even say.
Okay. He can hoop and free Palestine.
What is it? I'm trying my best to defend you in the 42 CEOs comment section. What is this?
The breakdown that he had.
Can you explain this concept of blowback to your guests so we can follow this? Yeah, he doesn't know about that.
Blowback?
Yeah. Here's the Lacey clip. Let's see.
I'll just make a request.
Yes.
Yeah. We are going to go down Victoria Embankment. There is a protest at the moment going on outside New Scotland Yard, right? A pro-Palestinian
protest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want anything being said that could potentially cause any problems. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not saying that anything is going to be said, but just trying to keep the chatter nice
Got
and
it,
sensible.
yeah,
Is
okay.
that all right if you just let Jimmy and the rest of the team know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. No, you're good. I'll give you a light. Free Palestine.
Let's go. Let's go.
So funny. Lacey says free Palestine after being told not to say anything about it. That's like, what is that conversation? Like the fucking, that is also another classic British lad archetype as well.
You know, just nothing Islam. Did we say no Islamist chatter? Well, what the fuck was it that he said? Like, it's a crazy line.
Protest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want anything being said that could potentially cause any problems. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not saying that anything is going to be said, but
No, not saying what was he
anything is
saying?
going to be
No,
said.
anything is
But-
what?
I don't think he knows
Israel?
You know what I
Islamists.
mean? You know, I'm not saying that anything is going to be said, but just trying to keep the chatter nice
Got
and
it.
sensible.
Yeah.
I can't understand.
He's
but-
not saying Islamists. He's
Yeah,
saying,
I know. I can't
He's
hear
not
what he's
saying anything is going to be said.
That's it. I couldn't. No, I just couldn't understand him because he's
Yeah.
British.
It's gonna be said.
He's gonna be
Not
said.
saying anything is to be said.
Jesus, it's like, I mean, it is like yeah.
They invented the language.
I know, and they sound like it's like
I don't know what happened there.
When I was like 18 and I like, you know, met British people, I like, you know, like you just like traveling like outside the country for the first time meaningfully. I like had this horrible tick of like every time I heard a British person talking to me, I just wanted to repeat back to them what they were saying in their accent. It was so funny sounding. And that's how I feel when I hear that guy.
They talk like they're from Middle Earth. What he's saying is don't say anything in support of Israel. Yeah, I don't know what he was saying. I don't know what he was trying to convey there. I didn't fully understand it, but you know, okay.
I mean,
it's
it sounded
cool.
like
the
his-
youth is all right, baby. It's cool that like a lot of young content creators are just like they just like will just be like, I don't care, free Palestine and move on. You know, even if it's like that, it still makes me happy to see that it's not like for older generations, like that's still considered a big no-no. You know what I mean? So it's great that there are content creators out there, especially young content creators who like don't give a shit and will actively take this position, even with no forethought whatsoever. Just straight up, that's their position. Stop your anti-British
We don't
bigotry.
like
You don't like how we speak. You don't like how we look. You don't like our food. You don't like our teeth. Please leave us alone. No, I literally just defended England earlier when someone said KSI is the Kendrick Lamar of England. Okay, you missed that part, I think.
I saw somebody asking about my shirt. It's Online Ceramics.
Yeah.
It's one of like their Deadhead shirts.
Yeah, it looks sick.
I'm a fan.
He's saying don't provoke the protesters. He's assuming he's right wing, but he's not. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
He looked
that's
at
a lot
him.
more logical.
He
than
looked at him and
anything
was
I
like,
could think I thought
don't
of.
say anything that's gonna piss off the protesters, the Free Palestine movement. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't do it. Don't fucking do it. You know how they get. You know how they get these Free Palestine people. They get fucking mental with it. They get mental.
Mental. When is the new season of Blowback? Next one about Angola comes out in September.
Yeah.
Fall. I'm not totally sure yet.
Sam Seder on the Jube. No, we're not calling Jubilee the Jube, okay? We're not on a fucking shorthand, like, we don't have a pet name for Jubilee, okay? We don't know Jubilee like that around these parts. I don't like it when you guys do that. It makes it feel like we watch Jubilee so much that we have like a pet nickname for it, and I don't appreciate it. I normally don't.
Wait, you talking about Juju?
No, Jubilee.
No, you're talking about Juju.
I'm not trying to do it.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. The fucking Jube, yeah. Let's go. I love it. Pull up some Jube on a Sunday. Yeah, Sam Seder is the first time I'm gonna go back to watching the Jube. Now I'm doing it. God damn it. But yeah, I will watch this because obviously Real Uncle Sam Seder went on
here about,
and I very much
con-
enjoy his debates. So
conservatives and their ethno-nationalism or their lack of grasp on facts, on just basic things. But it just so happens about a month and a half ago, I guess it was, I did the Jubilee Surrounded show, which is where I sit in the middle of the circle, and there are like 25 or 20, I can't remember how many it was, conservatives.
Yeah.
You know about it. Does your audience know what Outnumbered is, though?
No, I don't know.
I don't know if they still aired on Fox. It's probably gone now. But
no,
like,
I don't even know what Outnumbered is. But this is Jubilee's. Like Jubilee's been doing this for a minute now. Like
no, this was a Fox News show from like Brendan, when he was a reporter. He used to have to watch this, and the whole premise of it was that they would have one man, and then they would be surrounded by a bunch of female pundits, but like they're all right wing. So I don't really quite get how like they created conflict out of it, but like that was the premise.
Oh, okay. Well, Sam Seder went on, and I assume made short work of the 20 people that they surrounded him with.
They were young people, and there were a couple who I think, like, you know, sort of knew what they were talking about to a certain extent. They live in an information bubble, and so there was actually one guy who I talked to afterwards and showed him some of the stuff that I think comes up in the show. It's about an hour and a half long. We recorded like 3 hours of it. I've seen the edit. It's fine. I don't really remember what happened at the time, but this is a promo they have put out. It's not all as well, I don't know how to describe what you're about to see. There were a couple of people, like I said, who didn't have basic sort of facts about things that made it hard to sort of debate or argue with them. And then there were some who were just set in a certain perspective, and I didn't feel like it was even worth arguing with them because, you know, what are you going to say to someone who says what the second person in this clip does? But this is premiering on Sunday, March 9th. So in 2 days.
Every private and public sector gets tax cuts when you hire a person of color.
Government agencies don't pay taxes. Government agencies are funded by the government.
That is not true.
That's such an easy.
Okay, that's awesome.
Like,
sorry, that rules.
How can you be so confident and yet so wrong? Also, the thing that really like shocks me, and I think this is like more so like a post-COVID thing, but a dude that looks like this is supposed to be in like a polyamorous relationship and be like super woke.
I'm going to be honest. I think that he's supposed to be hosting the needle drop.
How dare you? How dare you come after my boy like that?
No, I think he kind of looks like Fintano with plugs, but that's just me.
All I'm saying is, like, what something happened during COVID. I think like this is a post-COVID thing. I'm becoming like a bit of a COVID truther, where like I think we genuinely saw like a IQ drop across the board because of all the people that got hit with COVID. Like people's brains, I don't think work as much, like as well as they used to.
I mean, it's a lot of this. It's the screen time. I will say, like, yeah, COVID definitely made me stupider. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah,
but
probably. Me too, for sure.
But I do think that, like, yeah, like everybody having to spend like every day inside, like experiencing hyper information or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
like,
it was. I think it's a combination of like both COVID maybe breaking people's brains, like literally, but then also obviously, yes, the information space and like the ways in which it existed during COVID. Like people have not recovered from this. They have not. I think,
mean, I will say, I gotta say though, there were and will always be people in America who believe somehow, against all intuition, against all common sense, against all uncommon, like, you know, like taught learned sense, that government agencies are not funded by tax dollars. Like there's people, like America is a big country, you know, like the Chinese word for America, right? In China, it means in English, like the beautiful country. We are the beautiful country. We are also the stupid country. And for all of our, you know, vast achievements and so on, like morons have always been as much a part of our national heritage. It's just, unfortunately, they took over.
I mean, the scams have gotten dumber. Like, people are so conspiracy brained. Like, I do think that there is something deeply and very seriously wrong with the essence of America now, more than ever before.
Like, if we're also being real, like, we're just not used to morons looking like they should be hosting the needle drop. That's just not, like, they don't look like that guy we're used to expect. Like, I think, like,
no, that's what I mean. I think this guy was probably like a liberal at some point, and then I'm going to use this term now that you put it in my lexicon, but he got one-shotted by COVID, and now he's just like existing in this space where he's just regurgitating conservative garbage nonstop and thinks that, like, that makes him a brilliant orator or something.
Government agencies don't pay taxes. Government agencies are funded by the government.
That is not true. That is not true.
Look at the camera. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. Right now, pause. That is the moment when Sam Cedar's soul exited his body.
That's so funny.
We can see it on camera.
Sam's disposition is so perfect. For
it really
this stuff.
is.
I can't, like, when someone is that stupid in front of me, I lose my mind. I just start yelling. Sam, on the other hand, after duking it out with libertarians on his show via call-ins for the past, like, what, 20 years at this point, has developed this, like, this very, oh man, what am I supposed to do? I'm so disappointed. That's his, like, disposition. And I think that plays much better optically than the way I behave when I'm in a situation like this, where it's just like, fucking lose it.
What's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Don't you think that's better for Americans in general?
What's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Don't you think that that's better for Americans in general?
You know, I think
cooking.
I think murder's good. You know, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's like that one chatter yesterday who was like, "What's your problem with Nazis?" Yeah. What's the problem with? I'm sorry. What's the problem with Nazis?
Did you say something wrong about Nazis?
Yeah. Well, you really cooked there, chatter.
Xenophobic nationalism is better.
We should have a coherent culture.
You and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. Hi, I'm Sam Cedar, host of the Majority Report, and today I am surrounded by 20 conservatives.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Surrounded by.
I mean,
wait, how did he deny that? How did he say that was untrue with such confidence when it's the most untrue thing I've ever heard in my life?
That was the part that I found really disturbing. Like, you know, look, people make mistakes all the time.
Yes.
And, you know, we do this professionally and we make mistakes.
Yes.
You know, and the only reason why, like, I know this stuff is because I do it professionally and we read in, but the level of assuredness that this guy had, that the federal government, that federal agencies were getting tax breaks for hiring black people was astonishing.
Astonishing.
And
like, every part of this is wrong. You know what I mean? That's what's so frustrating about it, where it's like, you made up you're operating off of a faulty premise, right? The notion that, like, federal agencies are paying taxes, but then you're also simultaneously inventing new things on top of that, where we are like 7 layers deep into this nonsense. Like, what the fuck? Federal agencies are paying taxes and they're getting tax breaks for hiring black people. Like, how did you arrive? You are living on a different planet. Like, who told you this? Who confused you like this?
Open the schools. Open the damn schools.
Yeah, I just...
You know, you could see the look on my face. Like, I didn't know how to.
How do they select the people for this?
Are we gonna? Can we fix this and edit?
Like
what?
morons, come hither.
I can't argue that they don't get tax cuts when they don't pay taxes. Like, but that was.
I love the girl who says, like, not just saying like we should be nationalistic, but saying xenophobically nationalistic.
Yeah. Like, wondered.
It's a little bit redundant, but you know, I'll take it. I like the honesty of that.
I mean, I will say that I do
She's
get
like-
the impression that that girl, like, you know, reads with her finger. Like, you know, like she learned that word and was
I
like,
don't think she knows how to read. I think you're being too kind.
You think I'm being too kind by saying that she needs to like move her lips to sound out words?
No,
and read?
I think she does not know how to read at all. She has seen someone read out a meme to her, and it changed her entire life. That's what happened.
Like, I wanted to go up to her after.
Like that person has not read. Okay, that person.
That's true. That person has a wall like Hassan's right here, except it's entirely filled with different editions of Hooked on Phonics.
Or it's just like TikTok. That person literally was homeschooled and basically learned everything from TikTok.
There was another guy. I wanted to go after her afterwards. Like, do you know what xenophobia means, right? Or no, or
probably not.
And there was another guy who I think as soon as he got to the table, like a bunch of the other people in the circle, like, oh no. Because they thought that like he was coming in nodding as to what that woman had said, and I think he was going to go further, and they immediately voted him out, and so he never made it to the cut. But we'll talk more about it next week when we get the full thing out.
I'm so excited.
But you know, there were a couple of people who had some.
I would watch that. I wouldn't watch a normal episode of that, but I would watch Sam on that.
You know, some people were, wanted to change the topic to like God and stuff like that.
That's another TikTok thing. Like, it's like, no disrespect to the young liberals on TikTok that do this on a daily basis. You know, shouts out to Dean Parker, those boys, right? But like, those guys love doing Christianity debates. And I think like that is the reason why a lot of the conservatives also, I mean, I don't know, it's a chicken or the egg situation. I'm sure that it's the conservatives that love doing those God debates or whatever. But to me, it's like, I don't know. I don't care about that at all.
I mean, this is like,
but there is definitely a lot of,
I mean, it's like an easy answer to a lot of like I mean, that's my impression anyway of like the quote unquote youth movement toward Christianity or whatever these days, is that it doesn't seem like it's about, it doesn't like the way it departs from like, you know, people who I knew who were raised like more religiously Christian, is that it really does just seem about like, oh no, like God is like Christianity and God is like the shortcut answer to like resolving all of the complicated things about the world today. Like, it's not even like an inherited tradition. It's like a return with the V thing, but to like having like an easy answer to hard questions.
Yeah, no, God told me so. That's why it's good. God is good. I don't know. I find it.
Also, I will say I always feel confident in these kinds of conversations because I know that even though it was, you know, for a different religion, I probably spent way more of my life sitting in a pew than any of these people.
Yeah. Also, the conservative movement is also in a very interesting space right now where like there is no defining singular, you know, focus on obviously like being religious either, or even being like socially conservative to a certain degree beyond like social conservatism has always been just like about dominating marginalized people for the most part. But it has certainly evolved in this like grosser direction now, where you know, you got the likes of Andrew Tate and many others who don't even try to present themselves as like good Christians or good Muslims or anything like that, like religious people at all, and very clearly have done, you know, crimes, untold amounts of crimes that are not necessarily something that people in the past, even within the conservative movement, would like actively defend. But we've gotten to this point where, you know, they just don't care. It's like, oh, do you shit on women? Okay, you're good with us. You know what I mean? Do you shit on gay people? Okay, you're good. Like, it's a more honest approach to conservatism, I think, in modern American politics, where they've just dropped they don't even try to like shelter or try to masquerade as like being moral.
No.
Or having like a moral foundation rooted within like a misunderstood version of Christianity, where they're just simply saying like, no, it's a vice. Like we are vice signaling. Like, we are telling you that if you think women ain't shit, if you position yourself on the wrong side of virtually every historic event and every social movement multiple decades after said social movement has set in and become the norm, like, you know, normalizing gay people existing in society and shit, then you're good. You're good with us.
I mean, it's also like another piece of how like they've like lost all sense or appreciation for like decorum and public morality, is that they dress like that. Like that's like one of the worst suit jacket colors I've ever seen.
I know.
It's like for Easter Sunday in the apocalypse, in like the nuclear bunker.
Yeah. Like the Nelk boys are parading these guys around, the Tate brothers.
There is like another quality to this though, which is that like the actual like the thing that like, right, like why it's okay to call people slurs, why it's okay to like just like be a hateful person, is that it's like it's about like the way it seems like it comes down to these guys is that, well, it's about power, and like if you're able to exercise power and dominate other people, you know, might is right. And like, you know, like this goes to like the alpha male top G shit of like, oh yeah, like it's actually cool and good to run like a sex trafficking network out of Romania.
Yeah.
It's actually like a sign of, you know, and then, you know, like the reason that like fucking Facebook board member Dana White is like embracing these guys is just like a, you know, a recognition that these guys are popular and that they have, by like espousing this, you know, like their ideas of, you know, will to power as being essentially like the guiding force of humanity. They're like, yeah, fuck it. Like I can buy that too.
Yeah.
And it just like, that's how it, you know, it's an acceptance, even if like Dana White is not himself like running out and doing the same things as like the Nelk boys or the Tate or whatever.
I mean, he is though. Dana White is also a woman beater.
Yes,
so like
Dana White literally hit his wife on camera, but like,
so that's the, you know, he's just dapping up another woman beater, which, by the way, women beating for the Tates is like the lowest crime that they've done. That's how severe the rest of the crimes are. Not to say that like beating a woman is acceptable.
It's like we do it, we get away with it. It's like giving us all our rewards, all of our jewelry, all of our treats, all of the things that compose what we find valuable and meaningful in life. And
happy Women's Day, by the way. Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but you know, and then somebody like Dana White all the way up to Donald Trump, like they see them both, like obviously like they see birds of a feather, but they also see people who, like, because of the implements of mass media these days, are incredibly popular. And so it just becomes like this reinforcing feedback loop. Like the effect of seeing fucking Top G get embraced right there in this context is just going to be that like more 6-year-olds are going to think it's cool to call women bitches and sluts.
Yeah. And what's interesting, but Dana's wife was hitting him on camera too. What a hypocrite. Thank you for debating. Thank you for bravely debating the virtue of beating the shit out of a woman. Thank you. Okay. This is cool. I like that. That's what I want to do in the marketplace of ideas. It's like, well, when is it acceptable to beat the shit out of a woman? You know? So yeah, Dana White defenders in the chat. So I guess the point I was trying to make is that conservative politics always revolved around dominating those who are vulnerable, for sure. But at least in the past, they tried to have a comparatively more gentler approach, because they would try to hide that it was just about pure domination, and they would create like a sense of perceived victimhood, where it wasn't just like gay people need to be killed. They should not be in polite society, but it was more so like gay people existing in society is actually harming us, good Christians, right? Like we're actually, we're actually being wrong. We're the wronged party here because gay people exist in society. We want to protect our family values, or we want to protect Christianity. And now it's more so just like, nah, gay people are groomers and pedophiles, even though, you know, Stavi had a joke on this last night as well. It's like, if there was the Olympics of pedophilia, pretty sure the LGBT community would get washed by the Catholic Church priests. Like, they would be just putting up insane numbers. You know what I mean?
And also, it like
also Andrew Tate literally openly talked about like trying to fuck or fucking like a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old or something. So it, like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? If there's a pedophilia, like, that's what I mean. It's like it's like the very obvious, gross, overt, shameless nature of it all that really pisses me off when people are just like, yeah, it's cool when they do it. Actually.
Also, it's like, I gotta say, like, it's fucking horrifying that, like, oh yeah, our State Department, our government is going out on a limb to help these guys. Like, that to me is part of why, like, one of the things that does, like, feels like especially like weird and creepy is this, like, just the idea that there's now some sort of like constituency or lobby for this in politics that like isn't even like doesn't even care about like the decorum of embracing in open arms people who do like, you know, Olympiad level sex crime stuff.
Yeah. Look at the local news story about a woman teacher molesting a boy student. Chubs love that and celebrate it. Yeah, that's classic. They used to do that in the past too. It's like, oh, if I was a boy back then,
that is a 15-year-old South Park joke.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I would have loved to have been raped by my older female teacher. Like that's like a classic trope, but this is like one step above that as well. I mean, that's also gross and unacceptable, but like we have the more the permission structure opens up to be overtly gross and like you know, open-minded to doing like heinous crimes, specifically crimes that oftentimes involve women, the more people think this is cool and appropriate, and that creates this feedback loop, this feedback cycle of more people assuming that this is good to do. Actually, like that's just how it works.
What the fuck is up with that dude's hair?
I don't
looks
know.
Like it's like he's like, yeah, give me the shark.
It's weird because like he just didn't want to get hair plugs or even like go bald like his brother, and it's like, dude, come on, we can see it's basically touching the back of your dome. Like, what are you doing?
Pepe Le Pew ass motherfucker.
Yeah, I find it really strange. I
have a Dana White impression.
What? Why?
That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah, a lot of these guys look like heartburn, dude. They look like heart disease.
There's a line from, we already talked about The Thick of It, from the movie that they made of The Thick of It, like In the Loop.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, so like when
shouts out to Armando Iannucci.
When James Gandolfini says to Malcolm Tucker, "You look like squeezed dick." Or no, sorry, it's the other way around. It's what Capaldi says to James Gandolfini. Like that's what I think of when I see Dana White. I think squeezed dick.
Yeah. It's just like this open embrace of like genuinely bad people with truly abhorrent opinions that have also done awful things like crimes in general, like some of the worst kinds of crimes that you can think of, Epstein level, but at like a smaller, you know, like a poor man's Jeffrey Epstein basically is certainly not good. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it other than the fact that I think it's not good. Chris Morris is way better than Iannucci. The Day-to-Day is goated. I love Chris Morris.
Chris Morris is the goat.
I love the Day-to-Day.
Brass
Are you kidding me? Yeah, Brass Eye.
Pedophiles
Island.
to kill the pedophile. Have you shown them Pedo Hunter?
Wait, what do you mean? The
pedophile. It's like I had like the Gunishment one. You've seen this. Pedophiles. Chris Morris or Brass Eye maybe.
I think it was Brass Eye. Wait, the one where they put him in a spaceship with a child?
Yeah, well, no, that's
pedo. No, it was a pedo-geddon.
Yeah, no, but that one is like that's like one segment. No, this was like the fake commercial they did for like a TV show about like a Chris Hansen style guy who's like in order like to hunt pedophiles. I know pedophiles. I was one, and then I had to kill the pedophile inside myself.
Yeah, it's Brass Eye Pedo Hunter. Let's see if I can find it. It's like really hard to find those videos.
I think it's that one. Yeah.
But it's only on
Warning, the Brass Eye special deals with paedophilia and it's incredibly brutal, so you might want to click away now. There are certain topic boundaries on a difficult subject.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't. It's just explaining
go to the other one.
The other one was a Facebook link, dude. Hold on. Let me see.
Somebody posted. See if somebody's got a YouTube.
You found it on YouTube?
Yes, this is it. This
video unavailable.
It's the pedophiles.
Video content. Video contains content from LDS. It was blocked in your country due on copyright grounds. It's one of the best political comedies of all time. It stands the.
I mean, maybe just throw it in YouTube, see if it comes up.
It definitely it definitely holds up too. Like there's some edginess that people might consider. No, I don't have a fucking VPN, chat. Shut up. Some edginess that people might consider a little bit much, but BBC News Brass Eye. No, that's not the one. Brass Eye Extras pedophilia advert. This might be it.
That's not it, but that looks funny.
Our children skipping into the hands of monsters. Security footage of a paedophile disguised as a school.
She still can't really speak about it.
Shrub rocketeer. Welcome to Pedogeddon.
Brass Eye Special Pedogeddon.
Pedogeddon.
Pedophile Island.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's really. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. What time is Drewski? In a little bit, bro. Chill the fuck out. Calm down. This guy keeps asking me, I'm not pro-tariff against Canada. How do I stop the argument that Canada deserves tariffs placed against them?
This guy was being like the most annoying argument with his brother or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's good. Just concede. Just concede to them and say you're right. Actually, yeah, you're.
Is it check the pedophile advert 01? No, that's another 16-second one.
Innocent.
Yeah, this isn't the one. I've watched these on stream before too, so I don't remember where it was.
Well, they must have the copyright strike probably came up.
Yeah,
between then. Daily Motion Link, that's the one. I definitely feel like that's the I've encountered. Yeah,
Pedogeddon 2001 special. Oh, there might be TOS in this though.
Yeah, there probably is.
But
there might be some terms of service violations in this, so I'm a little worried.
This is the one thing we didn't want. We used to be so good, man.
Pedo in front of them. Pedophiles. What happened, dude? British comedy used to be so fucking good. Like it really was so goddamn good. England has devolved.
I'm sorry, do you not think Russell Brand?
Yeah, like
is
what?
Still incredibly funny,
dude. Even what's his face? What's the fucking fat atheist who constantly complains about cancel culture? I forgot his name now.
Father Ted, Ricky Gervais.
Like there's like I think the original Office was.
Oh, it's way funny. David Brent is incredible.
Yeah, it's very funny. And then like this man, after doing a lot of like decent television, basically fucking turned around and spent the rest of his career after making all this money just constantly doing the worst comedy of all time.
Brendan wrote a really good piece about Gervais like years ago. I forget where it is, but it was so fucking funny, man.
Good evening. We're live tonight from the epicenter of Operation Daisy Bird.
Wait, Stephen Merchant also got hit with the Chud virus, the Chud brain virus? Yeah, Four Lions is amazing.
Four Lions is Brendan.
Yeah, we were just talking about that this morning.
We were talking about it already.
Yeah,
crazy this like makes something like this like 20 years before all the Jimmy Savile stuff comes out.
Yeah,
like it's.
Thank God there's the straight titties.
This is I think this might be TOS.
Yeah, no, this is like straight up.
All right, well now that I've done my service,
much
here,
like those of a boy.
Yeah, now that you almost got me banned.
Now that I got his son in trouble, I got to bounce.
But this isn't pedophilia. The girl's a whore.
Can I have the money now, please?
All right, peace. The British used to be wild. Yeah, I mean British television. It's got boobs on International Women's Day. I'm not showing you it. Okay, I'm worried. I'm worried about the TOS on this stuff, so I'm not gonna watch it. But I saved you from the TOS. Noah's not leaving yet. He's just going to hang out with some people, and then he'll be back later. And then when he's back, we'll do some more. But I still got a shit ton to react to. Chat, calm down. Oh, Noah's on. What's that link there? Yeah, we got Drewski. We got that Fern video. We got that cop that like died of, or not died, but the where is it? AOC dunking on Matt Iglesias. Love that. Love to see it. The world's greatest prison escape from Fern. Do ban appeals now? No, I'm not gonna do it before. I'm not gonna do it without Noah. I'm gonna wait for Noah. We got. Did you watch the Shane Gillis SNL monologue? I did not. That's from last week. Is Sam Cedar's Jubilee on the meme? Wait, what do you mean? It's not out yet. I don't think. One of my favorites from the day to day. Oh, September 11th.
With those terrorist attacks
this is
in New York
great.
and Washington, both towers now gone. Later, what is a hijacked airliner and how does it crash? But first, our correspondent.
Wait, what the fuck? This doesn't have the clip though. This is not the video. Shane Gillis SNL was very good. New Chupal is out too. Elephant Graveyard coming out as a woke leftist, it seems. Wait,
But
that's
in
not
what-
surprising at all. Elephant Graveyard has a lot of like, don't they have a lot of like anti-Joe Rogan videos too? I have to pee. Here, I'll play entirely unfunny. Jesus Christ, chat. Fucking let it breathe. Let it freaking breathe. Taylor Lawrence made a video about misogyny slop, maybe for later. Sorry if it's a little too long. It's 51 minutes long. It's crazy. Is he supposed to be funnier than Ricky Gervais? I like Shane. I think Shane is pretty funny, but no comedian is ever going to be all hits. There's going to be misses, especially when you think about the way that you put, especially when you think about the way that you put out an SNL monologue. Like it's not easy to just like write a banger set for SNL, for an SNL monologue out of nowhere. Conor O'Malley is all hits. That's not true. And also I watched Conor O'Malley's last sketch. It was hilarious, but I'm saying that like there's no comedian that's all hits. If you think a comedian never bombs, that means that you've only seen their finished product. And in order for a comedian to come out with a finished product, that means they've bombed 1,000,000 times. No, not Bill Burr either. Chat, what are you talking about? A lot of you just don't know what comedy, like how the sausage is made. A lot of you don't know, I think, how comedy works at all. Like I think that's a major issue here for many people, especially on the left, where there's this notion that like what you see is the best possible product that you can get, and then like I think it's because you've probably not been to like you probably haven't seen a comedian testing out their new material when they're in like a smaller room specifically. But overall, that's how you get to something that's funny. Anyway, can you bring on Amy Schumer to teach chat about comedy? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yep, when I used to film comedians doing their sets, they would do the same joke 4 nights in a row before they perfected for filming. A lot of people's favorite comedians bomb. Yes, every comedian bombs. Every comedian bombs 1,000,000 times over until they hone the joke. I'm old. I got to see Mitch Hedberg live. That's crazy. Are you the type of guy who think Brendan Schaub is funny? What? That's an insane thing. That's an insane thing to accuse me of. SNL is the wrong time to try new material. No, an SNL opening monologue is written fairly fast, so that's probably part of the reason why it's anyway, whatever. I don't want to argue about like I don't want to argue about the comedy. All right, we're going to get back to the real world, okay? Yeah, if you want to see a fucking real bomb, here's an Israeli man, okay? This is I'm about to show you some of the worst comedy you've ever seen being performed for 1 minute and 32 seconds.
Palestinian film just got an award at the Oscars. Yeah, it's weird. I actually don't believe that Palestinian film should win any awards ever, because they only know how to play one role, victim. You know, it's like my family is so starving. They only got 5 trucks of humanitarian aid. Please donate. Link in the bio.
I think this was like a Matt Christman, Will Menaker joke or analysis rather, or maybe Felix, where they were talking about how like conservatives can't do comedy because they get so angry halfway through the process of trying to build a joke. And this is literally that. Okay? This man has far too much resentment to ever actually arrive at a fucking punchline. Okay? This is just him reliving his fucking gripes. And it actually plays hilariously well if this is a satire of an Israeli comic.
Please donate. Link in the bio. It's the only shit they know how to play. No, okay, they know how to play one more thing. Fake dead baby.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't fucking nail that role. They never fucking land it, right? It's like all you have to do is lay down and not move. You want to see me win a Palestinian Oscar right now? Thank you so much, everybody! And the Oscar goes...
Dude, also, straight up, not even miss my words here. Another sign that Zionism is a brain-breaking fascist format, fascist ideology. no capability of making art. Okay, that's it. It's just like you're tuned up in a way where you're just so angry all the time. Like there are a million different things that you can joke about, even with this like obvious genocide unfolding in front of our eyes. This is not like a oh, I'm too woke for this, right? I'm too woke for this type moment. It's more so that like this person is completely incapable.
Honestly, sometimes I wish I grew up in Gaza, because I would be like a Hollywood superstar. You guys saw that
like, dude, oh God.
Performance right here, right? It was incredible.
Like, how are you going to be Jewish and be bad at comedy? I'm sorry. Call me fucking anti-Semitic, but, you know, this is pure, unrestricted, unfiltered anti-Semitism, okay? That's insane, dude. How? How is that even possible? It makes no fucking sense. Like, it's insane. It just, no one normal knows what Pallywood is. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, you need to know. You need to be operating. You need to be operating on so much like collective understanding of Israeli mania that you have internalized for you to even understand what he is saying is a joke.
You get one more round of applause, you know?
Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, this guy opening at the APAC conference, it probably would have killed. That room would have loved this shit, okay? The theater, don't cancel him. Same shit then. What do you mean cancel him? There's nothing worse that that group could do to this man than just not laugh at his jokes. That's it. Can conservatives even heckle? I mean, going to clean my cat's litter instead of watching whatever this bomb is feels more preferable. Yeah, Izzy had a funny joke about this. He said, classic Israeli. Where is it? Hold on. Let me. Yeah, Izzy said, hold on. Let me pull this up. Classic Israeli. Goes somewhere where he goes somewhere uninvited and bombs, which is true. No way. He is bringing on that dumbass, right? Wait, what do you mean? Who? What? Classic Israeli. Going somewhere you aren't wanted and bombing. Yeah. The only role they play as victim is heartless, but not even a bad joke. But there's a long pause for laughter. He doesn't bring you the punchline, just drops it on you and expects you to just laugh out of agreement. A skilled comedian would at least play off the shock of what he said. Yeah. I think that this is part of what has like ruined the last generation of really good comics as well, is that same like conservatism, reactionary sentiment, and a hyper focus on cancel culture has unironically ruined so many good comedians, because there is, especially if you're a comic, there's no such thing as fucking cancel culture. Okay? Cancel culture already is not real. It just means you're just not good at broaching subject matter with the delicate ways in which you can craft a good joke around. That's it. Tell that to Louis C.K. Louis C.K. is a great example of this. What do you mean? He won a fucking Grammy after he like masturbated on the phone to a bunch of like young female comics and shit. The fuck? Unless you're Louis C.K. What do you mean? Louis C.K. objectively was a funny comic. I haven't really heard any of his new shit. I don't know. But clearly people still love him. I mean, people listen to him all the time. He still does tours. He still does shows. He won a fucking Grammy for his he won a Grammy after his quote unquote cancellation. Yeah. Louis C.K. is a funny person. Like that he is genuinely a skilled comedian. He also was a sex pest, or I don't know if he still is, but he certainly was a serial sex pest on the phone and in person. Yes. He still did production and writing the entire time after this cancellation. Yeah, it's just like, it's not real. It's not fucking a real thing. It doesn't work that way. But I will say, like I've maintained already, if you're funny, if you're a skilled comedian, you can make it work. A lot of these people just simply complain because they can't make it work. On that note, let's watch how comedy became a dystopian imperial hell world. I do not want you to upload reactions to this because the video just came out. Aziz Tours 2, bro, you cannot compare Aziz Ansari to fucking Louis C.K. That is insane. Aziz Ansari is a great example of like decentralized movements. When institutions fail victims, decentralized movements pop up, like the Me Too movement. And Aziz Ansari is the great example of those decentralized movements literally swinging the pendulum in the other direction where it goes maybe perhaps a little too far. Okay? Aziz Ansari, like you can get mad at me all you want, but he's not like I think his situation was not is not even remotely comparable. His situation is not even remotely comparable to the fucking Louis C.K. shit, or even like what do you call it? What did Aziz do? He was he couldn't read the room. Like that's kind of it. And Al Franken is another example of this as well, where like when you think about it, like look at the conservatives now, where they're just like actively being like, yeah, this person raped, who cares? This person is a sex trafficker, who cares? They're great, they're awesome, this is amazing. Meanwhile, Al Franken was a victim to conservatives basically flipping the script on the Democrats to be like, you guys are hypocritical, and Al Franken was taken out by also Democrats as well, who the very same Democrats now unironically are advocating for Andrew Cuomo, who did a shit ton worse, like a metric ton worse amount of sex crimes than fucking Al Franken did. Kirsten Gillibrand, who played a formative role in ousting Al Franken, okay, forcing him to fucking step down, is now in the tank for Andrew Cuomo for mayor of New York. These people are all demons. They do not fucking give a shit about anything.
Walter Cronkite, basically to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons. Did you triple
How comedy became a dystopian imperial hell world, says Elephant Graveyard.
Dragons, like I guess like dinosaur type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really, really bad information that's going out there.
The first time they didn't really have control of the media anymore.
Because what?
Because of us.
Non-mainstream media.
Because of podcasts.
Podcasts.
Selling tickets. Because of social media, because
you're
of
humanizing Trump like, well, he's human.
Yeah.
So why can't
They've been caught up in all this shit they've shoved down everybody's throat, especially all the Russia shit.
Imagine a scenario where you've thawed a guy out from some frozen cryo chamber thing. He's been in there for like 20 years. And this frozen guy, well, he loves comedy. And so this guy is excited to finally be unthawed and to discover what the world of comedy looks like in 2025, the year of our Lord. So you invite the guy to your house, sit him down on the Chesterfield, and prepare a televisual feast to get him up to speed. And you try to find a way to explain to this guy how this guy right here somehow is the king of both comedy and broadcasting.
He said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is fucking great. And Joe Rogan believes in dragons! And Joe Rogan believes in dragons! Joe Rogan believes in dragons! 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 Dragons!
And you gotta explain to the freezer guy that you're sorry to be the one to tell him this, but we truly live in hell, and I feel that in my bones. And he's surely gonna want to get back in that freezer thing, but he can't, so instead he slices his own head off. Just a little scenario to think about. How the hell did we get here? It could have been great, but well, you guys know how the universe works. We're all just flying down an endless series
Can someone pin the video? Are there any mods in here?
Alternate realities inside a vast multiverse. And you can't really control which branch of those realities you are going to live in. And, well, our wonderful reality is the one in which this guy was able to be crowned both the king of comedy.
All downhill after Carlin died? That's not true. There are still great comics out there, okay? That is also not true. There are still great comics out there. And, you know, Bill Burr is a great example of this. Bill Burr is a great example of this, okay? He is carrying the torch of Carlin. And there are also great comics out there still. It's just like, you know, I would say that the legends of my generation, a lot of them have a lot of them have basically destroyed their legacy. That's it. This is like hearing Taylor Swift and saying music has been dead since Prince died. Yeah.
And the king of broadcasting. And I was sitting here watching this clip of this insane, resentful, unhappy, angry, and unfunny old man hysterically ranting and raving about his belief in dragons.
And then you couldn't believe that. Watch the illusion. It's all a fucking illusion. All of them, when convenient, have said the exact same things.
Dragons are real. While his personally curated group of friends, who he's pretty much hired to hang out with him, sit around subserviently laughing at his terrible attempts at jokes,
Doing the New York thing that
nodding along as he continues to spout the literal dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life, and putting on a master class on the warning signs of early onset dementia.
fucking climate change. Wake up. No, it's arson, you fucking idiots.
I think to myself, there's no way anybody listens to this. I check the podcast charts. It's number 1. No, 2. And it's listed as comedy. Oh God. It suddenly all hit me how messed up this all is. And how this whole shit era of comedy kind of snuck up on all of us like boiling a frog or whatever. And I don't know if I'm just crazy, but I think this is actually bad. So I started thinking, trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Just trying to figure out, how did we even get here? And where are we going? And does it really have to be this shitty? Was it ever even not shitty? Like, what the hell is even going on here? And just like that, I realized it.
I was at the airport one time and I went to a Starbucks to get some.
Like some of the comedians that he's posting about on this compilation, I actually do think are funny. Like, what's the dude from the ginger dude from Bad Friends? Like, I've seen him in like very small rooms when he was first popping out. Santino. Very small rooms, like in front of fucking 10 people, and he was hilarious. And you can kind of tell when someone is, when someone's got it. And Santino definitely was definitely always very funny. Like it was obvious that he was going to be hilarious. I wouldn't say that he is like every comedian goes on the Rogan sphere. Stavros is also on the Joe Rogan Experience as well. Like they all have to do it, but I would say that there is like a cast of Roganites that are just objectively not that funny and constantly talk about like cancel culture and like right wing shit that unironically ruins comedy. And I wouldn't say that like every single comedian that goes on that show is like that. Especially because every comedian goes on the show.
Coffee.
Stand-up comedy is fucking stupid. And I don't even mean this current shit era. I mean the whole thing. The whole art form, like the whole idea of it. It sucks. And it's worse than stupid, really. It's disgusting. And it should be illegal, maybe.
I hope I haven't offended anyone.
It just keeps getting weirder and weirder and further away from anything.
I think this guy's joking, right? When he says it should be illegal, maybe. I don't know their vibes that much.
Yeah, this shit era of comedy is way past its expiration date. It's been fermented, fully soured, and is now completely putrefied. It's... how else can I describe this? We are way past the tail end of it, and we are dancing around in the steaming pile of shit that fell out of its ass. We've talked about this before, but everything has its cycle. You get that, right? Come on, a guy like you? I mean, there are guys out there who have already been talking about the cycles better than I can.
Intelligent human beings should realize that everything has their cycle. They have their season.
I agree with this guy.
They have their beginning. They have...
What do you think about Jeselnik? He's funny. I mean, it's like his humor is like a little different. Like I don't know how I would classify him.
They're in.
Yep.
They have cycles.
I think I agree with everything he says.
About to be recycled.
Good. Do it.
We're on the threshold of the end of this civilization because it's about to be recycled.
Right.
Your only
I understand
chance to evacuate is to leave with us.
All right. Our lives have cycles. History has cycles. Culture.
Okay, I want to get to the meat of the argument here. Like, I don't understand.
That guy was killing. Dude, he put the fear in God in guys that have been doing it for 20 years. We used to do Dick Doherty, rest his soul, his comedy clubs. And Dane would have the headliner, like, pacing in the back.
Damn.
He was killing that hard, and he would be like, I shouldn't have to follow that. There's no jokes here. It's like, well, listen to the crowd. There's something going on here.
So instead of wasting their energy on writing good jokes, guys began focusing on how well they could promote themselves on the internet. And then people started making these new things called podcasts too. And given the potential payoff, the low cost and low...
He's saying Dane Cook was like the reason as to why modern comedians that were following his note basically stopped looking to structure funny jokes that were interesting or unique, and instead were just like bold.
Low effort required to do all this crap was irresistible.
No, I like my space.
Especially for these lazy comedian guys whose greatest motivation in life is the fear of ever having to get a real job. And that marked the official beginning of the comedy podcast shit entanglement era, in which we are currently festering. Congratulations. Of course, nobody struck gold bigger than this genius, Joe Rogan. There he is. Yeah, this guy never had an original idea in his life. He really doesn't know anything about anything, but he does know how to copy a guy who already did a thing.
Trans women are women. How about most? You gotta leave room for crazy.
Believe women, right? All of them?
How about almost all?
How about you believe like 88%, and that last 12% that's out of their f***ing minds? You know, I think that's a fair percentage, wouldn't you?
You gotta leave room for crazy.
That's what he does with stand-up, and that's what he did to start his podcast, which he stole the idea for from Tom Green.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It is 8:01. You're watching Tom Green Live. Roll the open.
Tom had the brains and the balls to start his own talk show, broadcasting live on the internet from his own home. And it was great. It was funny, chaotic, and it never took itself seriously.
That's good booze. Play something real quick, okay? All right. Cool. Awesome.
It was unpredictable, and stuff went wrong all the time.
We can't see the on-air feed right now. It's not coming through too good, but we figured we'd sit and wait.
This guy's scaring me. Are we up on the computers? We're up, yeah.
He'd get mad at his production staff as a bit.
I want to see a laptop right now with it on the feed. Can I see it? Bring me a laptop right now.
Instead of whatever this is.
No. It's like a...
It's weird.
It's sort of like an Olympic...
Sorry.
Sometimes he'd get bombarded with prank calls, and because Tom has an actual sense of humor and a fully functioning brain, he could play along with them.
Tom Green, can you do a barrel roll for me?
A barrel roll?
Yeah, a barrel.
I like that guy. That guy's cool.
I'm the guy you hung up on the first call.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry about that.
Hey, man, I just wanted to tell you.
Hello, you're on the air.
Instead of whatever this is.
I am really into rock, paper, scissors.
How into it are you?
I'm undefeated.
How is that possible?
But whenever they wanted anything, I would be like, all right, rock, paper, scissors. If you win, you can do this thing. If I win, and then I would like pick the thing that was like their sort of deepest fear, you know.
Can we play right now?
If I win, I do the programming on your show for a week.
No, that's worth a lot of money. You can f off.
You were so confident until just now. We could pick a month, a few months off.
All right. Sounds like someone's scared to lose at rock, paper, scissors.
It sounds like someone else is scared to lose it.
No, you're asking me for something that's ridiculous.
Look how mad it is.
You don't have it. Fuck off.
And number one comedy podcast in the world.
Friends was a funny show.
Joe, you were great on Friends.
No, I wasn't on Friends.
That's a joke.
Hey, stop joking.
No.
But is this wall going to be huge? Huge?
That's a joke.
Such a fun podcast. Such a fun time.
You need to beat Russia? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Fun.
Are you serious? Do you know how big that place is? Do you
Too
know how
big.
much military force is behind Putin? What are you talking about?
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about? Like, what if he
Right.
just decides to go nuclear?
Oh, God, shut up. Oh, that's better. Oh, hell yeah. God, can you imagine that parallel universe where Tom became the number one podcast guy instead of Joe? Must be a fun place to be. That's where we're all supposed to be, if anything made any fucking sense in this stupid world. But it doesn't. And sadly, guys, we are all forced to live in this very shitty branch of the multiverse.
Exiled from the...
Oh, God. Oh, these guys. The trigonometry guys. Ugh.
This is the branch where Stu and Joe stole Tom Green's idea, made a much shittier version of it, and slowly took over mainstream media, comedy, and the U.S. government. As he continues to spread his wonderful mental herpes to all his listeners week after week.
Made your daddy proud.
I'm proud to be your friend.
I'm proud to be yours as well.
I love you, Joe, man.
I love you too,
Thank you for
brother.
your time, bro.
Oh yeah, thanks. Almost forgot to thank him today. You can watch in real time the moment Joe realizes there might be gold in these podcast hills.
Dude, I think this is awesome. Thank you, man. See,
Okay, so Tom Green is responsible for Joe Rogan, so he's a villain in the story as well. Okay, he brought about Joe Rogan to us.
thing ever. It really is different, you know, than television.
This is way better.
He gets rock hard, praising its lack of corporate interest.
There is no, I I guess the Joe Rogan Experience has evolved into not really being a comedy podcast at all, you know? Yeah, Tom Green is the Oppenheimer, dude. He's the Oppenheimer of just ruining the medium. Another reason why Canada blames tariffs, okay? Canada deserves tariffs. Yep, I'm blaming Canada for this one too. Fuck it. Canada, you did this.
And griping about how advertising and money ruin anything good about entertainment.
It's corporate pressures. Yeah. The thing that f***ed up television,
Watch the lab,
thing that
Mike.
f***ed up entertainment is money. They
Oh, really?
selling advertising, and that's all. And that f***s up everything. It doesn't make anything good.
A belief he abandons literally within seconds once he realizes that he could be the sole beneficiary of this potential new advertising revenue stream.
We need to figure out how you make money from this.
Yeah.
I think we thought money ruined everything.
A national interweb, we call it, and then create a mass traffic
like a portal
gauge.
Watch right here. You can see the wheels turning inside his brain as he quickly flip-flops.
Like a portal into the advertising revenue stream. You know?
Then, so he just copied Tom Green, and he started the Joe Rogan shitcast experiment, and just for being an early adopter of podcasting, he was able to become the biggest and most mainstream establishment media figure on the planet. There he goes, stealing Joe. Yeah, this visionary genius is comedy's.
Dude, the Elephant Graveyard fucking hates Joe Rogan. Jesus Christ. Like, to a degree where it's like, even I, a Joe Rogan observer, am like, damn, dude, all right, like, fucking dial it back a little bit. I feel like he steps in his own argument a little bit. He gets in his own way by he gets in his own way by hamming it up too much.
Is George Carmack. Who's George Carmack? Well, he's the guy who found that first piece of gold in the Yukon.
It should have been Mullen, not Rogan. Yeah, I was talking about this with Noah last night too. It's literally a bit. You don't get the joke. Oh, okay, that makes sense. If it's a bit and I'm not understanding it, maybe that's what's going on here. But yeah, put me down. I'm a sovereign citizen. No, I'm shaking the baby. I'm shaking you. Okay, I picked you up by your head and now I'm shaking you. Your arms are flailing in the wind, going wah wah. Don't do it.
Which started the whole Klondike Gold Rush. There was nothing special about George Carmack. He was just some guy. He was just lucky enough to get a tip from this other guy, Robert Henderson, saying there might be some gold up there in the Yukon. So George just went up there and yeah, he found some. And after that, loads of guys swarmed up to the Klondike there and ruined the place as they all tried to copy what Carmack did. And just like Henderson tipped off
Cometown is a great example of like an actually funny comedy podcast. Like a legitimately funny comedy podcast that has a lot of misses as well. This is just how it is. But when it fucking hits, it's insane. When it hits, magic happens and you're a part of it when you're watching it in the viewership experience. You're like, oh my God, what an incredible fucking joke.
Carmack, Tom Green tipped off Joe, giving Joe the idea to start a DIY podcast. And he did. And he struck gold.
Zip up Stavi's pants when you're done with it, little bro. First of all, no, I will not zip up Stavi's pants when I'm done with it. Secondly, I mean, all three of those dudes are fucking hilarious. What are you talking about? In their own way.
Caused a stampede of comedians trying to copy his blueprint, turning everything to shit in the process. Like a plague of locusts. Shit locusts. And guys, please don't hold that against Tom, all right? There's no way he could have predicted the consequences of that tip. And Tom's a wonderful man. And actually, just like Joe Rogan, all his riches were never enough for George Carmack. He was always questing for more and more gold, never satisfied. He, like Joe, must have had some kind of dad-shaped hole in his soul that he tried to fill with money and fame, but it never really worked.
What are you saying?
George dropped dead at age.
It's so interesting because Joe Rogan was formative in my development as well. And probably for like the weirdest reason, but like I saw a dude seemingly make his own meta, like from where I'm standing. When I was listening to him first, I was like, damn, this dude like has so much influence and also simultaneously is independent. Like when I was younger and I was listening to him, I was like, this is a Hollywood guy that took the Hollywood background that he had, right? The influence and prominence that he had from Hollywood and made his own lane, right? And for me, I mean, I'm talking, this is like before the Milo Yiannopoulos stuff. I think my turning point on him, when I started realizing like he was perhaps entertaining like really weird people far too much, and the shift was happening, was like around I would say like 2014, 2015, 2016, and definitely after. Post 2016 is like was a big turning point. And then post 2020 is like when he fully when he became his final form. But if you listen to his commentary even from like 2015 to 2016, it's the diametrical opposite of his perspective now. It's very interesting to see. Like sometimes I'll see like old Joe Rogan videos from back then, okay? And he's like talking about immigrants or whatever, and you're like, what the fuck? He just became the exact opposite person. Like, how did this happen? It's very interesting.
61, while working yet another new claim. I'm just saying. So Joe struck gold, and as we all know, became the godfather king of both comedy and podcasting, and helped to restore faith that we are still living in a meritocracy-based society. And we love him and we thank him each and every day of our lives. Along the way, Joe spawned a slew of copycat shows trying to coattails his success, to the point where every single comedian now has their own podcast. Literally every single one. And so many of them were built on the...
Bro, it's not just the comedians. Now fucking politicians are making podcasts too. Everyone's making podcasts. Podcasts have officially become the meta, all right? It's just like, they need to stop. People need to stop making podcasts. It's too much.
The same premise.
Not me though. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Of what goes on inside a comedian's twisted mind. What really happens backstage in that green room.
The green room is amazing.
No.
I know it looks bad,
no.
It doesn't.
I can't believe it. Well, we all found out pretty quick that most of them are just sick, twisted perverts and dangerous, mentally ill narcissists, predators, abusers, all those kinds of guys, farting around in that stupid green room in one big depraved circle jerk.
Lucky she paid 100. I had girls in my dick giving me coke from Chewy. You think I'm fucking kidding you? Yeah, you gotta suck my dick to get up in the belly room. I'm making a call for you. That's the fucking gateway into coming to Hollywood. Everybody knows.
Only guy that actually get canceled. I mean, that was a crime. You know what I mean? That was a crime. That was not a cancellation. It was a crime.
20 of them. Yeah. She got to Hollywood, bro. She was beautiful. And when she left, she had dirty fucking, her nails were dirty. And then a year later, she wrote me a letter to the Comedy Store. I kept shooting sperm balls in her fucking bar.
That actually makes me want to start believing in the death penalty. Send him right to Sparky. Anyways, on and on it went. And they just kept making these podcasts. They just won't stop, pumping them out. And then a pandemic happened, and people were alone, and so desperate not to listen to the thoughts inside their own heads. So they put on these podcasts as mental screensavers and escape into the friendship simulation that these podcasts provide. And the numbers went up, and more guys made more and more podcasts, always trying to outcompete each other by making everything as fast, cheap.
George Santos made a podcast called Pants on Fire, dude. That's the stage we're at.
Cheap and low effort as possible. And then it's just a matter of reading ads for pills or nicotine mouthwash or whatever.
Brain nourishing.
Oh, it's not good. These lazy...
Genuinely asking what crime? Chris D'Elia? He was grooming minors. What? He was actively trying to fuck minors, dude, on Snapchat. The crime is called pedophilia.
Lazy stand-up guys got into comedy because it was the easiest thing they could do to avoid getting a real job. But then podcasting came along, and suddenly they had an even easier way to make even more money.
Podcast?
And then pretty soon the podcast eclipsed the stand-up, and now all these so-called comedians are really just zero-effort podcasters selling shitty products again and again and again.
We'll be back with the interview in 1 minute. First, we want to talk to you about the sponsors of today's episode, AG1.
You should nuke England.
We take AG1 to stay healthy.
And you're looking great there, bud. Jesus Christ. They really have become indistinguishable from those infomercials you used to see on TV late at night when you couldn't sleep. And you'd turn that thing on out of desperation just to maybe hear another voice. You might even see an interesting product, who knows?
Arthritis, depression.
Those are podcasts now.
Iris-Tor, the clinically proven, game-changing hair growth device, Iris-Tor. This show is brought to you by DraftKings.
They're just places these fools can hawk supplements and get free advertising for their own branded crap.
I love this.
And they all follow that original blueprint from the godfather of podcasting, Joe Rogan.
Mom brain is real. It is a real thing.
You need some Alpha Brain.
What is it? Can I take it? I'm breastfeeding.
Alpha Brain is a nootropic that my company Onnit makes. And I'm not saying this because it's my company.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually a very anxious person.
I have a friend whose daughter was on ADHD medication, and she's getting...
It is pretty funny that this guy who, created a supplement company, which is famously, like, supplements are not regulated by the FDA in the same way that, like, other things are. That guy is also now one of the most prominent, like, anti-vaxxer voices out there. Who would have thought?
Getting off of it, and he started giving her Alpha Brain.
Very cool.
Okay. He said it helped her tremendously.
Respect for the daughter. Wow.
What is it?
He's become the new establishment, cutting deals with big pharma and backed by massive corporations like Spotify. And the big N.
The thing that fucks up entertainment in general is money. That's all. And that fucks up everything. It doesn't make anything good.
So Joe was getting more and more popular. But with that success came a whole new level of public criticism that Joe was not prepared for and was too weak and frankly lazy to handle. See, one of the core problems with this Joe Rogan guy is the fact that he has that dad-shaped hole in his soul that we alluded to earlier.
To be fair, I think like constantly getting ass blasted by mainstream media that also kind of sees you as a alternative medium that is a threat to their established success is probably going to brick most people's brains. Okay. Given the format of a 3-hour-long podcast, I actually talked about this with Theo Vaughn, ironically enough. Given the format, like at the time, there was definitely a lot that got lost in those back and forth conversations. Now, of course, since then, Joe Rogan has devolved and became this like obviously right-wing figure who says a whole bunch of nonsense. But like, there were certainly a lot of points initially where people were just like really farming for any kind of like smear that they could jump onto. I think a lot of people, especially now, like a lot of Gen Z young men grew up in a climate where maybe they were developing their formative political opinions at a time when like it was the peak of let's just say the SJW era, where for every like 3 good valid critiques that people were launching against anyone and everyone, there was like 7 that was insane, right? Also simultaneously though, the right was going nutty mode as well with Gamergate and shit. And also open neo-Nazi demonstrations, open neo-Nazi content creators, open white supremacist content creators that were on the other side of that, on the other side of the political spectrum as well. But having said that, I think that probably played a role in now in a lot of young men's minds, where they were just like growing up in this media environment where people were just like, "Are you watching? What kind of content are you consuming? That says a lot about who you are. I think you're morally repugnant for listening to this or listening to that. We need to fix our media diets." Yada yada yada. And I think that definitely caused a lot of especially young men to just be like, "Nah, fuck that." Anytime someone ever critiques whatever media that I have appreciated, that must mean that they are wrong. And I think that Joe Rogan and them leaned into that quite a bit with the cancel culture stuff.
He grew up with this terrible guy for a dad.
Hassan attacking his own community right now, that's so funny. I have a very nuanced opinion on this kind of stuff, and also comedy in general as a fan of comedy. And yet every single time I bring this up, there's always another guy who doesn't listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, but instead assumes that I'm like, accidentally revealing something. And it's not a firmly held conviction that I've maintained for a decade at this point. No, you, my friend, placed me in a box. So when you hear something that doesn't make sense about the box that you've placed me into, you go, "Oh, this must be a mistake. He must be doing this on accident." Or he must feel bad about his like past behavior on this stuff. And it's like, no, this is just something I've been saying for a very long time. Okay.
My big memory from my childhood is my mother coming home with hamburger meat and my father being upset that it was hamburger that she had brought home for dinner, and he beat the shit out of her. And then we left.
And do you think that somehow or another that put that fight in you?
Yeah, unquestionably, yeah. Like, I thought my dad was this great guy. You know, when you're a kid, your dad's your hero.
Right.
You know? And all of a sudden I realized when I was 5 years old, very clearly, that my dad was a douchebag. You know, there's that feeling that you can't trust anybody.
And after doing all that emotional damage, Joe's dad abandoned him. But he left him with a lifetime gift, a dark black hole inside his soul that he might not even be aware of, and if he is entirely incapable of fixing or even acknowledging. Crippling fear. How this black...
I do think it's weak shit, by the way. It's a sign of not having any sort of like fully flushed out worldview, a moral compass, any sort of interest in any sort of vision in changing the world. When you get yelled at by a group of people, and then that just like causes you to fucking flip your script in its entirety and slowly but surely find yourself in the throes of reactionary ideology. And there are many very prominent examples of this in the world of comedy, especially. You know, that's it. And I say this as someone who has been attacked from all sides fairly consistently. Ironically enough, my commentary has also been consistent throughout this entire process. And the reason for that is because I'm stubborn, for sure. But also the reason for that is because I have firmly held convictions. Whether my brand of politics is popular or my brand of politics is unpopular does not change the dynamic at all for me. It's something that I'm advocating for because I know it's correct, and not because I'm changing. I'm going along with the winds.
Black hole, it produces incredibly powerful emotional gravity. All his fears, insecurities, self-loathing coalesce around that dad hole. And over these 68 years of Joe's life, this swirling concoction of negativity has formed around the hole. And that's stressful, man. It's a real bind. And it's actually a big reason why Joe became a comedian in the first place.
Why else did you get into being a comedian?
I don't know. I got talked into doing it. No, I wasn't really very funny. I got talked into doing stand-up by my friends from martial arts.
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
I was very insecure, and I got bullied.
See, it's a sad thing.
And I wasn't big. I was a small kid.
Better music.
And I was really nervous, and I did not like that feeling at all. Yeah, I went to an open mic night. I watched amateurs try it. Like, most of them don't know what they're doing. They're terrible. Like, people who really suck inspire you to do it because they lower the bar of expectation.
And do you still do your stand-up?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That is the emperor of comedy you're talking to. See, there are two main strains of comedian.
Yeah.
The first kind are the people that are creative artists that have weird brains and maybe even have a triple-digit IQ, and they're driven to create. They are compelled by the muses or whatever, and it makes sense that they're comedians.
I like an escalator, man, because an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs.
Oh, jokes. I remember those. The other kind of strain of comic, and this is almost all of them these days, are sad people with black holes inside their soul who get into comedy to try and get external validation from audiences and to indulge in the delusion of power that they feel when standing alone on stage with an amplified microphone where nobody else is allowed to speak. And probably they should lock their phones in a bag, too. And now I'm trying to think about who else stood on stage with a microphone trying to fill a hole, vying for attention and power. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, for this type of guy, stand-up comedy is a dream. They're sad little guys who seek power and external validation. It's classic Hitler stuff, and it's scary, psychotic stuff.
Free speech. That's what we're fighting. That's all I'm fighting for.
Fuck, it's Dave.
When I'm on that stage, I'm there to dictate your...
Who is that guy? I don't know who the black dude is. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. I don't think I've ever seen him. Okay, I think it's a bit much to be like, you know who else is a failed stand-up comic? Adolf Hitler. He's a Rogan orbiter. He's a Kill Tony guy. Oh, I haven't watched Kill Tony in so many years, dude. Kill Tony as a format is brilliant, but ruined entirely by the fact that it's Tony Hinchcliffe that steers that ship. Format-wise, brilliant format, okay? having a bunch of up and coming like upstart stand-up comics try their bits out in front of like professional comedians that have been doing it for years and years. Fantastic format. Ruined entirely by the man who has the name, the man who has named the format, Tony Hinchcliffe.
Dictator at that point. He admits it.
That's all we're fighting for is free speech.
It's this weird power fantasy where, if they're lucky, they can find enough other dumb sad guys in an audience who will give them the laughter and applause they need so badly.
Would you rather be happy and a lot of people not see your art?
I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy. I can already answer that before you even finish that question. I couldn't be happy if people aren't absorbing art of mine.
Sounds familiar.
Why do you think that is?
Because I'm addicted to it now. I'm addicted to that feeling of
validation.
Gratification, instant gratification, validation, all of it.
And this shit era of comedy is all built
He's
around
like, you know
guys
who
like
else
this,
had that feeling?
whose entire
Hitler.
scheme is simply pandering to the most easily entertained, brain-dead audience imaginable to get that quick, self-soothing dopamine hit. And at no point are they funny. And that's the real issue. And they're just too lazy and stupid and driven by urges other than the pursuit of...
Jeremy Piven.
Wait, what's this?
1,000 years ago,
What is this?
I did a show called Entourage. Do you imagine if we tried to reboot that today in this climate?
Yeah.
We used to have billboards everywhere. Just those billboards today, 5 straight, white, focused men coming straight at
Take me back.
People would be like, is that a documentary about January 6th?
Yeah. That is really good stuff. That actually changed my mind. This era of comedy rules. This era of comedy...
Yeah, you can't make it. Oh, man. Folks, things were so much funnier back in the day. Oh, the wokes, they ruined everything.
Rules. So yeah, comedy copers. That's the kind of comedian Joe is. And it's sad. He'd love to shrink the size of that dark amalgam that haunts him, but he can't because he doesn't seem to realize, or maybe it's too painful to think about, that he's only chained to that swirling mass of negativity because of the emotional gravity of that dad hole. Address the trauma of that dad hole and the rest floats away into the void. But he can't, and he won't. And because of that, he's stuck with that black hole inside, and the dark amalgam that surrounds it, which, in 2020, was about to...
You want to know why Shane Gillis has done not one but 2 SNL spots now and objectively has become a better comedian after his initial quote-unquote cancellation where he was supposed to be on SNL and then clips came out of him, you know, doing not the best bits, okay, especially about Chinese people or whatever. You want to know why? And I do give a lot of leeway to comics in general, because when a comic bombs or when a comic is doing a bit on a podcast and it sucks, a lot of people look at that because they don't know anything else about the person. They go, oh, this person is like a heinous racist, right? Now, comedy is just like any other medium, any other art form where it's not going to be all hits. There's no comedian that will make you laugh every single time, okay? Just like when you purchase an album and you listen to your favorite artist, there's going to be some skips in there, or there's going to be some mid. It happens. It might not be for you. Okay? No, Bill Burr as well, dude. Come on. He did that fucking like dad movie for Netflix. Like, I love Bill Burr. But, you know, he has some fucking misses too. My point is, you know what Shane Gillis didn't do in that moment? He could have basically hit the cancel culture orbit, and he certainly got a lot of audience, a lot of new audience members that wanted him to do that, right? But instead of fucking crying about being canceled and changing his entire comedy to how sad he was because he got canceled and how everything sucks nowadays, he didn't do that. He went back to the drawing board and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep making comedy. And that's precisely the reason why now he gets to do SNL. Okay? That's it. That's straight up, that is the reason. He didn't get pigeonholed into being a cancel culture guy. Because if he had done that, I think he would have been like Owen Benjamin at this point. You know what I mean? A fucking abject loser who, you know, tries to get shock value out of you by saying the N-word or saying that the Jews are doing everything, you know, becoming like a fucking Nazi. That's why I think I can't stand hack comedy. And I think cancel culture focused comedians always become hack comments. hack comedians, because cancel culture comedy is hack comedy. There's no better indication of this than Seinfeld also being a cancel culture comic.
Grow to terrifying and unimaginable proportions.
Hello, everybody. I have an announcement. The podcast is moving to Spotify. Thanks.
Joe made a big boy business deal.
I always say this, but like, this is another classic Hasanabi trope, but like, yeah, the moment that you seek out applause instead of laughter as a comic is the moment that you've lost. Okay? That's why I was saying like Nanette is basically, or Dave Chappelle's like the Nanette, but for right-wingers, where he was no longer seeking out laughter. He was no longer trying to get you to laugh, but instead get you to agree. Can't do that.
Deal with the partly Chinese Communist Party-owned Spotify Corporation. And after that, he started getting in a lot more trouble for making up stuff on his show and like ruining society and things like that. And at first he had to keep apologizing when he got caught lying, which is crazy to think about now, but it was a different era back then.
Historic fires are ripping through 3 western states.
Hello, everybody. I need to make an apology and a retraction. I said something on the podcast about people getting arrested for lighting fires. I got duped. It's wrong. And I said it without looking into it. It's very irresponsible. And I'm sorry if I duped you as well. I know it feels very irresponsible of me. I don't take it lightly. I'm very upset with myself. And I apologize to you as well. Sorry.
The guy was in way over his head, and his inability to distinguish reality from fiction was starting to stress him out, knowing how much he was bound to keep screwing up and how much trouble he'd keep getting in.
Sorry.
And, if that wasn't bad enough, his best friend humiliated him for apologizing.
What do you think about our buddy putting an apology today?
Sorry.
Who? You see Joe
Rogan, but he got a fact wrong.
Yeah. Poor Joe Rogan. He put the apology up.
Sorry.
They would tell him go. He was. That's hard for my dog. My heart goes out to him. He had to put an apology up.
Sorry.
Shit.
I guess
things look good when he was. Things look good in the basement, dog. Once you take that Spotify money, you got to start apologizing. Sorry. Make him believe you can't. You know, the poor guy. That's what happens when you get that money. You cash that big check. You got to watch what you say. Did you see him?
This marked the start of the apology era, which would end up being way too much adversity for Joe to handle. And to get out of this bind, Joe was about to embark on a transformation that will surely be studied by psychologists for the rest of time.
How serious is this? Is this something that we need to be terrified of?
So, long story short, a pandemic started, Joe couldn't handle it, and he went and had a panic attack in the sauna.
Well, I was scared out of my mind in the beginning. But everybody's shutting down in the beginning and people are stockpiling food. I was worried about people I knew getting really sick and dying. And then I was convinced that I had it. At one point in time, I was like, God, I do feel like I'm breathing heavy. I felt like my breath is coming short. I did. I had like psychosomatic issues thinking about it.
Guy had a panic attack sitting on 12 elk. You had a panic attack
in the sauna.
And then you felt bad about yourself, and then you attack people with masks. That's how it works. And that's how the hatred starts.
And that really was when the hatred was unleashed. Soon after, Joe kept talking about like shooting homeless guys.
I mean, nobody does anything about violent crime in LA anymore. Maybe we should just go and shoot homeless people.
I like your ideas.
Yeah.
This pandemic stuff was way too stressful. Then he started frantically scrolling Twitter and found a new group of guys to hang out.
God, I love the comedy side of this podcast, man. That's peak of comedy right there. Hey, man, we should murder homeless people. Yeah. Seems like a good idea. Look, I think this guy, unironically, as the #1 Joe Rogan hater, misses the different arcs that Joe Rogan has gone through. Because the previous arc, the 2015 onwards, the first foray into right-wing political commentary started at like all the way back in like 2015, 2016. The Ben Shapiro introduction, the Jordan B. Peterson introduction, the Milo Yiannopoulos introduction. People don't remember this person because it's been so long, but there was a white nationalist, like an out and about white nationalist eugenicist by the name of, also Canadian, of course, Stefan Molyneux, okay, or Molyneux. This man went on Joe Rogan Experience to talk about how, like, you know, white people have higher IQ, shit like that. It was crazy. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, damn, bro, what, are you stupid? Are you truly a goddamn ape? Like, what are you doing? You're having these guys on that are not funny, not clever, not entertaining, and just simply hateful. That was the initial era, like the Gavin McGinnis. He had Gavin McGinnis. And then there was the liberal side of that with the Sam Harrises and the fucking Weinstein brothers or whatever. Is it Weinstein? I forget what they're, Brett Weinstein and his brother. That was the anti-SJW era where the right-wing independent media ecosystem was being developed. The intellectual dark web. He almost got me with the arc, but ironically, like having Kyle Pac-Man Bernie got me back to sanity. So many of the dudes that are now like 35, 36 that you knew maybe back then that have just like stayed right-wing and have become insane people because of that brainwashing, brain-breaking experiment.
And these guys allowed Joe to believe that everything was actually okay, and so Joe felt relieved and safe with them, and transformed his inner anxiety into outward rage, an emotion he was more accustomed to dealing with on account of that bad dad. But unfortunately, this new group of guys and all the stuff that he and Joe were talking about was getting Joe a lot of negative attention. And that made even more anxiety bubble up. And again, Joe transformed that anxiety into an even bigger rage. And I mean, this guy was getting pissed.
Well, breaking news this evening, Joe Rogan, an extremely popular podcaster, announced on social media today that he has COVID.
Shit, anyone got a lighter?
He mentioned ivermectin is something more often used to deworm horses.
I can afford people medicine, motherfucker. This is me. This is ivermectin.
You got it with
right
you.
here. Somebody gave it to me.
Oh, this is amazing.
Look, they put a yellow filter on me too. I look like shit there. Do you know that?
I think you look good.
Pause.
And his mind just completely shattered.
That's enough, Jim.
He had to defend this new guy he'd started becoming and all his beliefs, which were the only thing abating his rampant anxiety. And now he was way too invested in this stuff to ever turn back.
5'3". I think this is really important.
This is the second arc. Like the first arc is the meta that I brought to you, that I explained to you earlier with like dipping his toes into like really insane far right commentary. But back then he still had like Abby Martin on, you know what I mean? Like he still had like COVID was the final stage. I realized that he had lost his dang mind when he had, I think it was Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who he has known for years. And he was just like kind of shitting on her because of her understandable perspective about COVID and vaccines. Like he was just being crazy. He was being crazy very clearly. A person that he knew for years and years, that he had a lot of respect for, he was now shitting on.
One of the problems that I've had, me personally, I've had with any idea is that once I have an original idea or once I start looking at something a certain way, I become married to it. And I've had real problems with that. And the problem with saying this happened and that happened, which I used to do all the time, is that you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. But until you do know, when you say you know and you might be wrong, it becomes an ego thing. If I wasn't doing this fucking podcast, okay, if I was just a regular comedian and that's what I did for a living and I didn't pay much attention to alternative media and podcasts, I would be just like people I know who I used to be friends with, who now hate me and are angry at me and talk shit about me online.
Now, you might have noticed that Joe is on the verge of tears there, struggling very hard not to break down and cry. And that's because the real Joe is inside there somewhere dying and desperately trying to be heard. But Joe won't allow it. He's committed to being the new guy. And he puts in major effort in order to keep the old guy beneath the surface, basically torturing him into submission.
And I'm taking the lid off that cold plunge. As I'm taking it off, don't do it, don't do it. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I climb right in and... And because I get through it every day, I start the day off with a win. I won. I beat the inner bitch. I conquered the inner bitch. I got in there.
If I start my day with a win, then how can I be a loser? Well, despite winning so hard at life from sitting in that tub, he was still pretty messed up from all the backlash.
This is the part where it's like, that isn't a terrible argument. That isn't a terrible idea either. There's a lot of the self-help stuff that these guys engage with that is actually pretty basic and also good, like good to do. Okay. Like what he's saying is the ice bath is a moment of like self-inflicted adversity, something that you just don't want to do, but you're doing it. And that gives you an adrenaline rush and a confidence boost that allows you to also turn around and tackle other things. I think the the most obvious, most famous example of this is not like forcing yourself into a situation where you're working in the ice bath, but instead is the Jordan Peterson, make your bed, clean your room, you know? That is not Jordan Peterson didn't invent that. Like, that is a classic, almost a cliche in pop psychology. And it is healthy and it is good. So you won't catch me shitting on self-help stuff like that. Even though there are entire brands dedicated to being crazy. You can't be fucking serious. Wait, what? Hassan felt called out. Wait, why? Why are people getting mad? Oh, God. I really get annoyed when there's like a very loud minority of people in the chat that will go, any kind of self-help is fascist. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? All right, you can be a nasty little bitch who doesn't take a shower. You know, we're not going to be about that lifestyle here.
He was getting from all his major whoopsies.
I would have been like them if I didn't have the access to the kind of conversations that I've had, if I didn't have the kind of mindset that I have.
The mindset.
My personality.
Personality.
Is just immune to bullshit.
He's got it all.
When bullshit hits me, I go, oh, I know what this is. I grew up without a dad.
Listen, dog, I'm Mr. Body Fascism, okay? Don't even get me started.
Daddy.
I don't trust people. And the people that haven't experienced that, I can understand why they formed the conclusions that they did. Because I could have been them. I 100% could have been them.
Well, thank God Joe's mommy bought hamburger that fateful night. Or Joe could have ended up a guy with the biggest mainstream media platform on earth, being easily used and exploited by weird billionaires and grifters, and allowing it to happen because he's just so desperate for love and validation on account of that dad hole. It's crazy to think there's a multiverse thing out there where a #1 comedy podcast doesn't have guests like some comic book villain evil rich guy. All these nut job.
That's the other side of this. Like, when people are like, Joe Rogan, independent media, he's killing it. And then like half of his guests now are just like direct CIA pedophiles. You know what I mean? Like, I thought you were the guy who talked about the pedophilic elite, not like became one. What is this? Great. Another episode where some goddamn Silicon Valley nerd is going to talk to me about how billionaires deserve more, how the poor ain't shit, and the cope that they still use is the one that remains. Oh, Joe has everybody on. No, he doesn't. When's the last time Joe Rogan had a fucking actual leftist on his show? And there has never been a moment where, since 2015, the density of like leftists to far right insane like Nazis was ever comparable. Yeah, he does not want his platform to move in that direction is clear.
Billionaire dweebs. And like, I don't know, a guy literally from the CIA that's on like once a month for some reason.
Yeah,
and
I hate that.
Also like the entire government basically. Could any of these people have tried to influence the way he thinks? Nah, man, he grew up without a dad, so you don't even have to take that question into consideration. And say sorry. Like, would it kill you to just apologize for no reason? Anyway, yeah, the manipulation of Joe. I thank the Lord each day of my life that didn't happen. Right, Duncan? Remember you warned Joe about that happening? Thank you so much for saving our dad. I mean, Joe. Thank God he's got friends that still tell him the truth and don't tell him part of the truth and then walk it back a little bit out of fear of disrupting his delusions, stressing him out, and then being cut out of his inner circle. That would be spineless and, you know, would make it obvious that all your peace and love and honesty stuff was just a load of crap all along.
If you're not careful, folks from deep, dark wells of perspective are gonna infiltrate your shit.
Listen to me. All those people that are organized, they can come hang out with us. Give me a hug.
You don't want to give them a hug?
Relax.
Why?
Just relax. All those people are just people, man.
Like a white supremacist?
They're lost.
Yeah, but you have to watch out because people are gonna like try to exploit you. That's the main thing, is like people recognizing what you are, who have political agendas, will infiltrate your shit and then start blowing out their radioactivity into the world, right? That's a fear.
Like radium.
But like, dude, I do worry about you sometimes, man, because it's like you now have a platform that is unlike any platform that's happened, you know, because you're doing like a...
This is so funny. Like, when someone gets fucking banned and they're just like, I was banned for 3 hours. Any explanation, Yavşak? Turkish chatter. Yes, bro. You got banned yesterday. You got timed out yesterday because you said, who is this guy, Hassana? I'm here for you, bro. Don't bring him anymore. talking about my friend, Noah Colwyn. You got banned for a good reason. Perhaps we should have actually banned you for multiple days instead of just one day. Okay? Yeah, you were being a bitch. You said bitch made shit. You were being rude to my guest. And you got timed out. Why do you come back in after being timed out with this kind of energy? Where you're like, why was I timed out? Why was I timed out? Like, imagine going into a goddamn fucking stadium full of people and being like, excuse me, make this about me. Okay? Calm down.
A comedy.
He ain't Turkish? Yeah, he is. He said Yavşak. It's the Turkish
podcast,
term.
radio show style thing, but you're also interviewing people about really heavy duty shit. Then you start thinking like, man, I've got this podcast that lots of people listen to. Has it ever happened where maybe some really intelligent person has manipulated me in an attempt to get me to disseminate some kind of information out into the world?
Good luck manipulating me, Duncan Trussell. I'm an American.
Yeah,
okay?
But you wouldn't even know. That's the thing. You wouldn't even.
Oh, I wouldn't know? How would I not know? These people are people.
What?
They're going to be like, if someone is so good at manipulating people that they can manipulate me and change the way I think about things.
Yeah.
Well, then good luck.
So Joe got attached to all this COVID stuff, and everyone was either yelling at him and calling him a dangerous idiot, or they were showering him with praise for widely broadcasting all their favorite ideas about what reality might be, and making them feel validated. So, if you're a fearful, self-loathing, and external validation-seeking guy like Joe, which side would you embrace? Well, instead of posting more apology videos, he opted to fully dive into a wonderful new safe space. He tapped into something he'd been searching for all his life, a source of constant praise and affirmation. And the guys doing all the praising were happy to have found a powerful ally in the new mainstream media.
Yep.
And as if that wasn't enough, Joe also found an endless parade of charlatans willing to juice his rod like he's some kind of god king for access to his wonderful platform and a chance to milk him for their own fame and fortune.
I want to give you the gifts I got you, bro. Got 5 of them.
Oh, I love this one. Patrick David! Patrick David! Bro, I got you. Joe, I got you many gifts. Joe! God, I love him. I fucking love Patrick Bet-David. That's my goddamn goat right there. Joe, are you value-tained?
Okay, the letter to the right is the Warren Commission. Then you got the autograph of Lee Harvey Oswald, and you got the autograph of John F. Kennedy.
Wow, the 5th place golf tournament prize.
So I hope you like it.
It's wonderful.
This is with the what do you call it when you're doing a...
Whoa, yeah, it's called a BPSRJ, a blatant public sycophantic rod juicing. And Joe just laps it all up, swallowing the praise and plugging it into that hole his bad dad left in his soul.
You're a very important guy.
Here we go.
Everybody loves you.
Finish him
I
off.
got a lot of respect for you.
Talk to me, baby.
There's a level of admiration for you.
Don't stop.
There's true love for you.
Harder.
There's true protection for you.
Too
You
hard.
don't need any protection when it comes into a street fight.
Perfect.
You know how to fight and take care of yourself.
Feels
my
good.
My weapon is words. And by the way, my book is coming out in December.
And these rod juicings just felt so good, and they relieved Joe of the anxiety he was feeling from all that criticism he was getting. And on top of that, all those instances of Joe transforming his fear into rage compounded on each other, and through neuronic muscle memory, his brain began to default to the fear-rage switch innately. And whether Joe meant to do this or not, I don't know, no free will, he actually became a whole new guy.
I've never voted right-wing in my life. I'm very pro-choice. I'm very women's rights, civil rights, gay rights, trans rights. I'm even universal health care. See this thing that Trump's doing with children that were born in other countries and then brought over here as children, and then they're talking about deporting them. That drives me crazy. Yeah, the hard right version of that is despicable. January 6th thing is important, and one of the reasons why I think it's important because it highlights the reasons why a guy like Donald Trump is so dangerous.
Joe Rogan endorsing Donald Trump.
Joe Rogan just endorsed me. Is that?
Yeah. Like there's a video of him talking to Sam Harris, who also is a fucking asshole, but all the way back in like 2016, where he had just started his arc.
It's like I see a lot of people online talking about this immigrant issue, and they either don't have kids.
2018, he's already started his like right-wing arc at this point, but he still has like some of these opinions that he's just like,
or they don't think it could happen to their kids. Their idea is, hey, shouldn't have fucking come over here. You get those kind of people. Broke the law. Shouldn't have fucking come over here if your kid, you didn't want to get your kid separated. If you were in the presence of a woman who came over here from Guatemala, and she's poor and she's starving, and they're taking her baby away, and she's wailing and screaming from a primal place in her DNA that the one thing she loves more than anything is being taken away. A baby.
Yeah.
If that doesn't freak you the fuck out, you're not a part of the team, man. You're missing it. You're missing it. What are we here for? We're here for 100 years of whatever. That's what we're here for. If you want to spend 100 years saying, hey, she shouldn't have fucking broke the law, I don't want you on the team. You're an asshole, right? And I don't give a fuck if you're right or left. I don't care if you're religious, or I don't care if you're an atheist. If that's what you support, you're an asshole, and we don't want you on our team. Okay? So, but if you agree with certain economic policies,
bro, isn't that crazy? Like, who is this guy? Who is this guy, bro?
Policies that I don't agree with. And we could have a discussion about it. We could figure out why you agree. And we could figure out why people are allowing all of this money to get into politics. Why are we allowing all these special interest groups and lobbyists to interfere with our laws and influence our politicians and create all this shit that we don't want? Well, here's the number.
You know what's really funny about this, by the way? I'm going to, of course, being the narcissistic Twitch streamer that I am, make this about me. I had the same exact opinions back then that I do now, which is why I always laugh when people are like, Hassan, you're a grifter. You've changed. That's why it's hilarious when motherfuckers try to pull that shit on me.
For one reason. You can't just vote online. You can't just vote. It's not one person, one vote.
Right.
It's the Electoral College, and there's a lot of checks and balances that are in place. That's all wonderful and groovy, but it's not giving the trust to the people.
Right.
The trust to the people that they're informed, that they can make their own decisions, that more people should be able to make these decisions. But they're happening now. That 28-year-old girl who won in New York, 28-year-old
That's it.
Democratic Socialist. Whether I agree with her or not, and I don't know if I do or don't. I bet I agree with her on a lot of things. I think education should be free. I think we should figure out a way. If we could pay for bombs, we could pay for schools. I think this idea that everybody should have health care, it's a great idea. Who the fuck wants people to not be healthy? Who wants people to be hurt and not be able to fix it? Are you really saying that struggling people should have to pay exorbitant amounts of money to get fixed when we could maybe chip in and help members of our team? That's stupid. Fill it up. Figure it out yourself. I had to. You got lucky, bitch. You got lucky you don't have leukemia. You didn't break both your legs when you were 18. Your parents are dead.
Right.
You got lucky, you piece of shit. These are people on our team.
Right.
Because I'm not talking about people who are lazy, good for nothing, losers, mooching off the system. You're going to have that too. Well, we got to figure out how to educate people so that happens less.
There you go. That's the little bit slowly creeping in. A little bit of right-wing reactionary sentiment at the tail end of that. The mind virus, baby.
Less.
I mean, that's perfectly permissible, by the way. But it is slowly but surely, it just like takes over your entire mind.
Figure out how to do
that first part. If you're saying that about the immigrant children, you're not on the team. I haven't heard anybody put it better.
Well, yeah.
Rest in power to Michael Brooks, by the way. You should just start tweeting this clip out every day. It won't do anything. I mean, but look at this. This is from 2018. Joe has everybody on. Doesn't have Sam on. Still to this day. 2018 is 7 years ago. Yeah. Yep. 2018 is 7 years ago. That's when I started streaming on Twitch. I'm an old man, dude. I'm an old ass man. I have been doing this for a decade plus. I've been doing this for like 12 years now. And I started at least like streaming on Twitch with Noah, ironically enough, who at the time was the senior editor of Jewish Currents and was like working with Vice too, and, you know, doing Vice stuff. All these guys, I would play Fortnite with them. Felix Biederman, Noah Colwyn. Isn't that wild? That's why it's also kind of funny when people are like, when you guys come in here and you're like, Hassan, well, a bunch of your like former co-hosts or whatever have, have parted ways with you or whatever. It's like, no. There are people that I met along the way, and some of them actually revealed their heinous worldview in the process, but I'm still with the OGs, you know? I think about that. One of the dudes I used to play Fortnite with is my normie friend. That's who I went and saw the Stavros show with last night. And my brother. Yeah, I got a lot of day ones.
Yeah,
You're an
I mean,
asshole.
but that actually
It's just
is
basic
that
moral
to me is the most
Anyway, let's get back to Joe Rogan now.
Here we go.
Becoming a new guy is a very effective way of slipping out of the shackles of judgment anxiety. Simply identify a crowd that you want to belong with, and then reconfigure your entire personality in order to fit in with that group.
It's like, you remember when Madonna had a fake English accent and everybody's like, bitch, you're from Brooklyn or wherever the fuck you're from. You are not from England. Like, you can't do that.
They were like in a
Yes,
U-Haul
they all
truck or
jumped in the back of a U-Haul truck together. There has never been a thing that I've ever seen where almost immediately I was like, those are feds. A thing that I've ever seen. A thing that I've ever seen. A thing that I've ever seen. A thing. I mean, look, some people are barely holding on to reality.
You're right.
Barely.
You're right.
All they need is one smack, one...
If you adopt all their beliefs and then convince yourself that they're the only group whose opinion matters, then you never have to worry about being judged and criticized ever again. What a relief. This rap guy, Machine Gun Boy, he too became a new guy recently by employing the new body, new guy technique himself.
I'm in a new body. I literally am in a new body. Like, I covered everything on my arms and my body. I left windows to it, but just like there's windows to my old work, but I'm a new person. So the evolution has like led me from a caterpillar to a butterfly now.
Hold on, that was kind of deep. Transition into a new guy is very difficult, and it takes many years to become fully immersed in the self-delusion. But upon reaching the maximal delusion saturation point, your simulated self becomes more real than your original classical self. And the transition into a new guy is completed. And after years of waffling on the fence, as we enter the year 2025, Joe's transition into this new guy appears to finally be complete. Well done.
You gotta remember, like, they were probably messed up. The reason they're doing what they're doing is because something happened to them earlier on. There was an aggressive, teacher, uncle, somebody that just
maybe a dad.
A dad who was drunk.
Yep.
There's stuff that pushes them in that direction to be expressive, controlling, and wanting to be acknowledged. And
he took TRT, bro. He was been on TRT. Are you kidding me? Joe Rogan used to talk about taking TRT openly too. Joe Rogan is the reason why I still say once I hit like 35 or whatever, and I start noticing my T levels decline, like I will most likely get on TRT. Joe Rogan is a more formative person in my development than I care to admit, even though I admit it all the time.
Do it exactly my way because I was powerless as a child.
And when you said I beat up kids, I beat up other women. Joe Harrison was, when you farted in your house, they knew next door. How could I get away with that?
Yeah, for sure, right? And then that's the thing you see with actors too, and they finally get some success, and then finally you're the man. Like, oh, look, it's Mike. Your bagel's ready, Mike, and your trailer's ready. And then Mike is, get me a fucking coffee. Like, oh, Mike, anything for you. And people act in this disproportionate, very insane.
Please talk to a physician about T-level stuff. Yeah, no shit. I'm nowhere near it anyway. It doesn't matter. Everybody calm down. Every little doctor in the chat, calm down. I would never do it without actually consulting a physician. I would never do it until it got to a point where I was experiencing like lethargy or like a genuinely significantly lowered sex drive.
Way. You know what I'm suffering? Jamie, this coffee sucks. Water. I don't know what happened, but you made it like almost, it's literally like almost like water. Can we get some more? We're going to talk about this. This is the worst coffee I've ever had.
Sorry. The exponential here, by the way, is,
I have a theory that steroids makes you right-wing. Brother, there is something that steroids actually does do. It is diminish your mental capacity. This is objectively correct. When you take steroids, you become dumber. Dr. Mike Israetel openly talks about this reality as a steroid user. So you're not wrong. Taking steroids does make you dumber, which will then make you right-wing.
OpenAI or whoever makes the next model.
Jamie, this is still super watered down.
It just have to
I did.
I just put the water in.
I'm telling you, dog.
There's a ton of coffee.
Get me a coffee.
Set of stable materials.
Coffee's terrible. I'll just tell you right now, Jamie, this is terrible for coffee.
He looks like
it's terrible.
Sorry. And it really makes you wonder, like, how many times has Joe done this? How many new guys has he transformed into over the years in order to avoid actually facing the dad hole head on?
Well, shut up. I've been on prednisone for 30 years and I'm nowhere near right wing. I am dumber though. Yeah, see? I'm just saying, the dumber you are, the higher the likelihood that you will become right wing. There are a lot of brilliant incredible, thoughtful, wonderful, dumb guys out there who are not. Having said that, the dumber you are, the higher the likelihood is that you will be swept away by right-wing thought.
And who is the real Joe Rogan underneath all of those guys? And do the old guys still exist somewhere? Or do they float away to die in some astral plane? Oh, or maybe one of those other branches of the multiverse. I don't know, but it's all very friggin' cerebral. So just a quick recap, we're exploring how did comedy get so shit? And surely you know the end of this shit cycle is coming any day now. You're all aware of the ever-growing industry of guys pointing out how shit the ship era is. People are catching on, guys. Don't wait for the rest of the rats to start jumping off the Rogan shit ship. Be that rat yourself and fucking jump already. It's time to leave Daddy's house. I mean, would you rather be at the forefront of the great post-Rogan comedy rebuild? Or would you prefer to face a jury of your peers at Comedy Nuremberg? Sorry. Anyway, so King Joe became a new guy. It's fucking insane, but he did it. He's the mainstream king. And this new guy he's become has allowed him to make a massive power grab within the US government, cementing his position within the establishment. He's the comedy czar. And I honestly can't even tell if he's aware of the fact that he's become the unofficial podcast of the US government. He's got a direct line to the president.
But we definitely hate it in Canada right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's the hockey game. Kick Canada's ass. Sorry, Canada. In Canada.
Excuse me?
It's not good because that's their fucking sport.
Oh, really, dude?
Shit. All right, sorry. What were we talking about?
The talk about turning Canada into a 50-first.
I'm going to be honest. We kind of deserved that, the Canada thing. Like, we did. We've been talking big shit. Like, we have been so unnecessarily hurtful to everyone. We've been unnecessarily hurtful to the global south in perpetuity. But we've now also we've really tuned it up. We've really turned the crosshairs over to some of our closest allies. Like, we really do deserve to get fucking kicked down a couple pegs, you know? You mean you've been talking shit? No, we do. We do need to get humbled by Snow Mexico for sure. We deserve whatever SoftBank does after the 2011 tsunami. Remember all the dumbass saying Japan got what it deserved for Pearl Harbor? Wait, what? People were saying that?
Oh, yeah.
He's serious. He told me on the phone he was serious.
Do you really get banned here if you say bad empanada? No. Why would you get banned here if you say bad empanada? You don't get banned anyway. You get suspended probably for like an hour or so because you're like, bad empanada made a YouTube video about you. Can you please watch it and address the terms that he set forth? Like, no. My answer is no. I like bad empanada. I don't agree with everything he says. It's normal. It's normal to fill very different spaces, especially when you're both fighting for the same cause. Okay? We all have disagreements. It's normal. Don't be fucking weird about it. Ironically enough, Bad Empanada himself would be so goddamn annoyed with you guys coming in here and constantly fucking chirping at me. You know what I mean? There was also even a dude who like misunderstood the point that he was making and came in here and was saying some like anti-Semitic shit too. Like, again, you didn't even understand what he was saying. Is this also your recent position on the JPEG tweet? No, I have no position on the JPEG tweet. What the fuck? No. Why would you say Peggy and Bad Empanada they're not on the same playing field? The fuck?
Yeah, well, first I was joking around, but then I was thinking maybe it's not a bad idea. So funny.
He's become comedy goibles, Jobles. Just kidding. But if you think that's slanderous, you must have missed Joe's best friend's announcement that comedy is legal now.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know?
Illegal.
Like, you can't make fun of.
God, I hate him. I hate him so much. It's not even like the hatred that I have for him goes far beyond political disagreements. It's just like he is such a cringeworthy person. I hate everything he stands for. And I have, yes, the shout is correct. I have a visceral, guttural hatred for him. And part of that is because every time he speaks and says something like unimaginably fucking cringe, imaginably cringe, I think of all of his dick riders. I think of all of his blue check marked cryptocurrency bag holding, waiting for the next scam to hit asshole fan base that are going to also go, he is so blessed. I love Elon. He is so freaking blessed. And there are millions of them. There are millions of them. And I think of the horde of morons, baboons, cackling hyenas that are just barely being kept alive by modern medicine, even though they actively argue against modern medicine. The only thing that has stopped them from dying at the age of like 7, okay? These pathetic morons. That is what is so imaginably frustrating about this. The black USA. Sorry, I had to get it out of my system. Doge, don't you got it? It spells like a Doge, like the dog meme. A meme off of a cryptocurrency. Oh, I love the cryptos. I love it. USA.
Of anything. So then it was like, comedy sucks. It's like nothing's
Comedy
funny.
sucks. I can't listen to him. I can't listen to him for longer than fucking 3-second increments. They're just saying like comedy sucks. Fuck. Watching these guys breaking your brain, he just makes me so mad.
Can't make fun of anything. It's like legalized comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legalized comedy.
But now it's 2025, and Joe's the only guy on Earth still ranting and raving about the pandemic, wants his bread and butter, and
why are you just accepting this? Because it's a noble thing.
Addicted to something that pissed him off like 4 years ago. Addicted to the whining. He looks for stuff to whine about like a pathetic cigarette junkie, scouring the sidewalk for butt remnants to smoke, because that's all that's available. And you gotta take what you can get.
If that Tim Walsh sucker, if that guy got into power, that weirdo puts tampons in the boys' room and...
So this new guy experiment is fucking insane, but it actually kind of worked out for Joe. But Joe wasn't gonna stop there. I mean, say what you...
He even shit on Bernie. He was like, yeah, Bernie got money from Big Pharma. How fucked up? He didn't. He didn't get... Big Pharma executives did not give him money, you absolute baboon. Oh my God.
We want about Joe, but this guy can overcommit to stuff at a pathological level. Becoming a new guy was not enough. Though more secure in his delusion than ever before, the flimsy tent poles holding up the belief in this new guy were always threatened by critics and like just regular normal people calling him stupid and stuff. So it was still kind of stressful. Now Joe is putting in efforts to normalize the whole concept of becoming a new guy in order...
Is Rogan only relevant in the USA? I don't hear about him here in the UK at all, ever. Someone who is as relevant as Joe Rogan is in the United States of America is technically impactful globally, even if you don't know who he is, if that makes sense. Like, this is a guy who endorsed the president. The president thanked him personally by name. And that is precisely the reason why, even if he's not like internationally renowned, even if he doesn't have international recognition, but I suspect that he probably has a decent Canadian and decent Australian audience as well. And maybe his influence might even be larger than you think in the UK. His influence is, whether you recognize it or not, pretty fucking vast. Just by virtue of like how much he has played a formative role in the development of this new media and how much that has impacted the trajectory of American politics. Like, it's kind of crazy to recognize. But think about it this way, chatter. My hoi bruv chatter. Think about it this way, right? This fucking animal, right, is so successful in the field of fucking podcasts, yeah, that the Democratic Party was like, who is the left's Joe Rogan? And they came to me and were like, oh, you're the left Joe Rogan. You're the left Joe Rogan. And I kept repeating over and over again that you can't podcast your Scottish. So please stop that voice. Okay, don't get me started. I'm E. Fatlaw. I'm Scottish. E. Fatlaw. But yeah, the point is, this guy and this new medium that has played a very important role in this past election cycle was so significant that you got Gavin Newsom doing a podcast now. My governor. Glasgow. Say Glasgow. Glasgow. Scotland forever. All right. Will you go on the pod with Gav? I would if he were to ask me on. But I don't know if he would.
To legitimize his own transition. And now Joe has gifted the world a brand new blueprint to copy. It's the new guy blueprint, and guys are already getting into it. We just saw Mark Zuckerberg show up to the Shipcast to unveil his new guy.
We're also lucky that you got into jiu-jitsu because I think you look different. When you walked in here today, you look thicker. You look like a different guy.
It just turned on like a part of my brain that I was like this was a piece of the puzzle that should have been there, and I'm glad it now is.
Now, Mark maybe wasn't quite ready to unveil the new guy, but you know, sometimes we get a little bit too excited about our new guy, and we unveil them before they're really ready.
Yeah, the Dominican Ray, he got hit with it.
I like racing. And I feel like all these activities, grilling meats, racing cars, are probably two of the most fun things that you can do.
Oh yeah, hunting too.
Yeah, same kind of thing. You've done a lot of that as well.
Yeah, well, my favorite is bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's already dubious.
Mm-hmm.
He's worried that Mark is going to bungle the new guy unveiling here and undo all the hard work Joe's put into normalizing new guy transitioning. But at the same time, Joe the gatekeeper can't help but become activated to defend the holy hobby of hunting.
I mean, that's, I think, like the most, that feels like the most kind of sporting.
What kind of bow do you have?
Gosh.
Whoopsie.
Do you know the company that makes it?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh, that's bad.
No.
Yeah, no, this is embarrassing.
Yeah,
This is embarrassing.
Joe was enthused to see someone else try and follow his path.
I saw your neck. I'm like, his neck's bigger. Your neck is bigger.
Good.
Ugh.
Are you using iron neck?
Sorry, I got to cut it off before he goes into infomercial mode again. So Mark got...
It's like a double suck. It's just like he's sucking the other, and Mark is sucking too. I mean, that's Zuckerberg anyway. That's Dick Zuckerberg right there. They're just like, they're having a real good old fashioned suck off, dude. 69 style, you know?
Joe's support for his new guy, but Mr. Schaub, yeah, he wasn't buying it. Brendan saw right through Mark's new guy transition and refused to recognize it.
You had Zuckerberg on, and he goes, I hunt.
Oh, no.
I went like this, yes.
Joe's not having it and jumps in to defend Mark and his new guy.
Do you?
No,
what kind of bow do you use?
I think he did. He just forgot his bow.
Oh,
he forgot the name of his bow.
Zuckerberg 2.0, and I love it.
That's crazy that like Dick Zuckerberg is such a lizard that even Brendan Schaub can see through it despite the insane amounts of CTE. Why are you hating on autistic people trying to get social skills? Dude, what are you talking about? First of all, I don't even know how to approach this fucking statement. Like, hey man, I don't care. He could be a cool guy, okay? That's great. That's wonderful. Maybe he should stop fucking sucking up to the Trump administration and coming on the Joe Rogan Experience and be like, hey guys, I'm no longer a billionaire lizard person because I've realized that if I just say I'm right wing, then a lot of you dumbasses will defend me. So I made some decisions over at Facebook, some of which are going to be revolving around saying fuck trans people once a day. If you don't say that, we're shutting off your account. We've decided you have to try to actively shit on a trans person every single day. We're done with DEI. We're done with it.
And of course, Brian defends the new guy transition as well.
Like, he was Mr. Woke, dude. He was Mr. Woke. I mean, he wasn't, but he was presenting himself as Mr. Woke. All these fucking fake woke.
To appease his lord. It's all kind of coming together for Joe, I guess.
Zuckerberg has always been that way more Silicon Valley right-wing than you might think. No, Silicon Valley has always been way more right-wing than other people think. I've actively talked about this for years and years and years. First of all, I'm not a liberal. So obviously, like, even the aesthetic liberalism that they demonstrated was not enough for me anyway. I already have a fundamental disagreement with the existence of billionaires. Okay. Like, sure, with inflation and yada, yada, you can have like wage billionaires, right? It's incredibly rare. But ultimately, that level of wealth inequality in and of itself means that there is a dramatic problem. It's a systemic problem. There is a policy problem. Every single homeless person, the existence of every single homeless person is a failure of policy, just as the existence of every single billionaire is a failure of policy.
All these guys are becoming new guys all over the place, using Joe's blueprint as a guide.
Name one wage billionaire. I mean, virtually every wage billionaire is also simultaneously wealthy as a consequence of not just their wage, but also through capital accumulation. But there's like 2 or 3 wage billionaires out there. LeBron James is one of them. I think Cristiano Ronaldo is another one. But like, again, it doesn't even matter because they still obviously have, aside from their wage, a lot of capital accumulation. Yeah, Messi, LeBron. So it's not. LeBron has a movie studio. The revolution will not spare him. Okay, yeah, good luck. He must pay for. Okay, we don't talk about Space Jam 2 around these parts. Okay, you bring up that's a fair point, but we don't talk about that.
Back before he completed his
LeBron has Nike ownership shares, little bro. I know. That's why I said you can be. There's not a single wage billionaire. There's like purely a wage billionaire. I'm just saying that there is the existence now of like a couple wage billionaires. But even then, all of those guys also engage in capital accumulation. That's it. Oh my God. So he isn't a wage billionaire? No, if you make $1 billion in earnings off of just wages, you are a fucking wage billionaire. That's it. It's not that difficult, okay? If you purely off of your earnings, your wages have been able to generate $1 billion, then you are technically a wage billionaire. Doesn't really matter because every single one of those guys who are that wealthy also have a shit ton of capital accumulation, a shit ton of capital.
Transition, Joe was dreaming about all of this happening. And since he knows how difficult it can be, navigating society as a new guy and all the criticism you get for transitioning, he started envisioning a new world for all the new guys to go. And he checked his bank account and there was like $1 billion in there from his work with Big Pharma. And so Joe thought, well, what if I create a special place for anyone that wants to be a new guy? And we'll all be new guys and we'll support each other's guys. And if we come together and bind all of our new guy copes together, we'll be stronger in our belief. And if a guy can become any kind of guy he wants anytime, then maybe reality itself can be changed just the same. And then nobody can break the delusion and we'll finally be able to relax forever. And reality can be whatever we want it to be. And there's only one place where we can do it.
That was an interesting video, I will say. Interesting, for sure. This is why we got to start gatekeeping psychedelics. It was a little bit of a fever dream, and I don't know enough about Elephant Graveyard to understand the vibes that he was putting out because there were some parts of it that were like a little too shocking for me. He went aggro mode, but I'm sure a lot of the anti-comedy people loved when he called stand-ups Adolf Hitler. But yeah, AOC dunked on Matt Iglesias, who said, "Is Bernie running in 2028? Is he going to endorse someone? Lame ass bitch." AOC dunked on him. Believe it or not, some people's everyday actions aren't motivated by some long-term career ambition, but out of a genuine love for people and a desire to do right by them. Bernie's one of those people. Disagree and loathe them all you want. People trust him for a reason. Bernie does these because he has long seen and talked to communities for whom the economy and status quo aren't working. If you don't like it, you can go fund some lab-grown person that's been focus grouped to death instead. He's a good person. The dedication to hating him is wild. I'm happy to believe that he has no further career ambitions. Would still expect him to endorse a next-generation movement leader. I can't begin to tell you how much I loathe people like Matt Iglesias. Like, all they do is just like undermine any sort of potential movement that could take seriously the growing fascism in this country. That's all they do. And they make money just brown-nosing the libs. But the reality is, if the Democratic Party and if there was a magic wand and all of the Democratic Party in its entirety was like a labor-focused socialist party, Matt Iglesias would be writing about how socialism is dope. That's it. He is one of those guys that follows the Democratic Party, not vice versa. Follows the Democratic Party and demands that they do more. And when he gets everything he wants, it is basically the actual Kamala Harris campaign. He still complains that they didn't do enough of it. Matt Iglesias, August 2024. Kamala Harris is running a great campaign on my favorite centrist themes like patriotism, unwavering support for Israel, and personal responsibility, which I like so much. Matt Iglesias, March 2025. Leftists are lying when they say Harris ran a centrist campaign. I hate this impulse to denigrate people over small factional disputes. Eric Holder was Obama's attorney general. Tony West is a distinguished public servant who's suddenly the devil because he works for a taxi company. Mark Cuban is doing great work for the ticket. These people are horrible people to get your notes from, okay? When these people agree with you, understand that there is a real problem, okay? That should be your first inclination that you are going down a dangerous path, a path destined for failure, okay? I mean, even he recognizes that. Look, I have mixed feelings about the 2024 Democratic National Convention, mostly because I liked it so much. Even he realizes that this is troublesome, that he liked the Dems' national campaign too much. Here's something to make you go insane. Doge is making journalism great again with Matt Taibbi. Oh my God. A blast from the past, folks. A blast from the past. Two figures. One who I admired and one who I worked alongside. That's crazy. I cannot believe, dude. God, Matt Taibbi. Matt. Why is Matt Taibbi's face getting wider? I don't know. Were you watching a Real Uncle's Jubilee vid, or maybe y'all already watched? Is it out yet? No, right? Considering the fact that it hasn't been spammed in the chat a million times over, I suspect that it's coming out tomorrow. There are also efforts to curb some of his signature lines, including Tim Walz has some sharp critiques. Oh, by the way, Tim Walz came out and said everything that a lot of leftists, myself included, were criticizing the campaign over. Yeah, he basically came out and was like, yeah, they really stopped me from doing things that were really good, that people actually liked a lot. It's almost like you've been saying this for years. Right again. The scran you ordered, by the way. Game day meal incoming. Hashtag locked in. Hashtag hat trick incoming. 0 goals, 0 assists. Total shots 0. Accurate passes 0 out of 1. Chances created 0. Touches 1. Yeah, I know. Tim Walz spoke about basically all of the critiques that he had over the Harris Walz campaign, and virtually all of it reads like, I don't know, 80 plus videos that I've done about how the campaign was fucking failing. There's also this, Al Green, my goat. That's some really cool things that he's saying. Again, many such cases, okay? A lot of Democrats talking about
don't you admire
stuff that you've probably heard here before.
the fact that he is
about. The reason why I walked away is because Al Green is basically saying the things that I've been saying for years. Wow. Maybe I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Fuck. Unreal, dude. Wow. Democrats never punish the rotating villains in its party. Democrats never whip votes. Democrats only turn around and praise and give gifts to the rotating villains in the party.
They giving y'all hell.
You know, y'all give him a speech now. But
I'll be honest, like, think about the last time you've heard analysis like this from anyone that's not a leftist that you know, like a liberal independent content creator, sex pest or not, where you were like, yeah, I remember him saying something similar, and I think now other Democrats are coming to that recognition. No, it doesn't happen, because fundamentally, these guys don't have a vision. Here's how Grandpa rewarded Manchin for destroying his Build Back Better agenda for the folks who weren't there. Biden hands Manchin the pen he used to sign the Inflation Reduction Act into law. He should have done something else with that pen and Joe Manchin, you know?
Who didn't vote for not voting. I understand why people didn't vote.
Wow. Well, at least somebody gets it. Well, that person got censured. So, and Democrats voted to censure him. Fucking awesome. Yeah. Here's another great example of the Democrats, you know, openly stating things that I was yelling about during the campaign. There were efforts to curb some of his signature lines, including casting Trump and Republicans as weird, which slipped out at Walz's speeches. He was encouraged to stop focusing on the weird criticism, said another former Harris aide. I think it is fair to ask whether, even if weird wasn't quite right, his instinct about how to approach Trump to make him seem small and a huckster wasn't closer to correct than the more self-serious tone that may have made us sound too in defense of the status quo. Why did they bring Tim on just to kneecap him? They really thought people would be blinded by his very existence. I don't know what happened. Not remotely surprising. Harris's own staffers and campaign aides say when it's not in public and their names aren't attached that she ran a bad campaign fearful of unscripted appearances, which then also neutered her own running mate. Tim Walz thinks he and Kamala played it too safe last year. He thinks they should have held more town halls. He thinks they didn't have time to get their feet under them, and he thinks Democrats should have taken more risks and gone to more places. Walz's assessment of one of the campaign's missteps, which he emphasized also his own part, because when you're on the ticket, you don't win, that's your responsibility, was also one shared privately in interviews with more than half a dozen former presidential campaign staffers, all of whom were granted anonymity to discuss the issue candidly, and many of whom lamented the vice president's campaign schedule that had her avoiding unscripted moments of the press and voters late into the fall. Look, contrary to popular opinion from my haters, I don't smell my own farts and turn around and say, like, they should have me on the campaign or they should listen to me, okay? I'm just some guy. I'm an idiot, okay? I am I'm a random idiot who gets yelled at all day for being a terrorist sympathizer, for having the moral clarity to stand up to Israel doing a genocide with our tax dollars. I unbanned that person because he has fantastic ideas and I want to hear more from him, even though he immediately unfollowed after saying, I followed you and waited 10 minutes long to say you're a worthless terrorist sympathizer and you're one of the biggest hypocrites and clowns on the internet. So my point is, that's not my expectation. But to my surprise, when I went to the DNC and saw how many, you're no longer some random stop coping. No, I am. I am a random dickhead on the internet. Okay. I sit in my living room and I yell at a camera all day, every day. I am just one guy, a guy that is not particularly intelligent. Okay. A guy that is definitely not the most intelligent person ever. Okay. Having said that, as a normal person, I read the room, I think, a little bit better than a lot of the Democratic Party's best and brightest. And to my surprise at the DNC, I found out that many of them were actually tuned in. Many of them are probably watching even right now on a fucking Saturday. Have a little bit more bravery. Have a little bit more courage. And instead of yelling at Kamala Harris or whoever the fuck about going on the Joe Rogan experience because he's a problematic figure, you should use that space that you have to yell at them to, you know, change their policies. Okay? If you're just a random idiot, then so is Theo Vaughn or Ben Shapiro. Yes, they are also random idiots as well. We're all random dummies. Anyway, don't demean yourself, silly guy. I think it's incredibly important that I regularly communicate to you that I am just a guy and not particularly smart, because that is the truth. I do, however, have one secret weapon. It's called knowing your limits. Okay? Things that I am fairly knowledgeable on, things that I know, things that I'm confident in, I will defend. Okay? Having said that, I don't think a lot of people know their limits. And it's almost like a superpower when someone refuses to recognize their limitations. Okay, Hassan having a one-man struggle session, you got to do that. It's healthy. But yeah, there's a reason why, this kind of reporting comes out when it's far too late. But the reporting that comes out is directly what I've been saying, what I've been yelling about. From the outside looking in, I don't have insider access. He was underutilized, and that was a symptom of the larger campaign of decision paralysis and decision logjam at the top, said one former senior Harris aide. Could he have changed a percent in Wisconsin? Maybe. We still lose even if we win Wisconsin. Even so, the aide said, Walz got put in a box, and we didn't use him the way we could have. Part of why Walz was picked for the running mate job centered on his strength as a communicator, several former staffers said. Another thing that I also routinely mentioned was Tim Walz was so good when it came to healthcare, when it came to like housing, when it came to things that he actually cared about, and so bad when it came down to talking about Israel or a more reactionary right-wing attitude that he had to demonstrate because at the top of the ticket was doing that about undocumented migrants and how to deal with them. He was just so bad at being a phony. Okay? Oh, would you do a first strike on Iran? Like, what are we doing, man? You could see, like, his eyes lit up when he talked about these issues that he cared about. Yes, top of the hour. I can't believe people still do top of the hour ad break baits when I haven't done it for almost half a year. Okay? That's crazy. You can still subscribe though, and you should. You should subscribe. If you want to support the show, subscribe, which you can do for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime or by getting gifted a sub. I always forget to tell you to subscribe. So I'm telling you now, okay? Now that I don't do top of the hour ad breaks, I forget that there's like places where I should tell you to subscribe. You will get many benefits for subscribing, including supporting the stream, but also simultaneously being able to send me links, use these emotes all around. New badges are coming soon that you can flex on all the haters with. Tiny TV and Apathy and Barry Balls, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. But yeah, they took him out, they kneecapped him, and they lost. Would they have done better if they let Tim Waltz fly his freak flag? Maybe. But at the end of the day, the campaign was still a top-down failure because the Democratic Party is a top-down failure. The Democratic Party does not have any definable characteristics beyond being annoying, woke, and gay. Okay? That's it. And when you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. And the Democrats were able to be depicted successfully as like cartoonish, woke, silly. Bro, you getting posted by Twitter music accounts? Yeah, I saw. I pull up with one Osama Son vinyl and all of a sudden Underground Sound is posting about me. The real UGs. Political commentator Hassan has a Osama Son vinyl. Would they have done better if they promised an even more lethal army, even more tax cuts for new businesses? Yes. That's what they failed at. They didn't say that they were going to. Kamala Harris had to assassinate do a mock execution of a brown child on stage. One of Honduran descent and one of Arab descent, so that she could show to the role she meant business. She was a real one, you know? And because she didn't do that, that's why she lost. Underground Sound has one of my favorite. Oh, I've seen this one. This is funny. This unk is glazing net spend. FaZe Banks, a 32-year-old man, was seen glazing net spend at a FaZe event with a yacht behind him. Cringe. Bro, you're literally 40. It's so stupid. All right. Blast from the past. We did all that. The all right pipeline for women. The misogyny slop ecosystem. I feel like Taylor is brilliant. And this is a real issue. This, like, the gender war shit pisses me off to no end online. I really, 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 really despise it. And it is the most successful meta. And I hate it. I hate it so much. Partially because, like, no matter what I say, because of my position as someone who's just like be normal to women, all the people on the men rule, girls drool side say I'm gay as fuck, okay? Say I'm soy and I'm super gay, or I'm a male feminist who's just trying to get a crumb of pussy or whatever the fuck. And then all the RAFMs on the other side, by virtue of my maleness, okay, and also because I have, a decent dose of toxicity attached to my performative masculinity, will call me the worst shit you've ever heard. Okay? You're gay, nor you're gay. What? I'm not. Entertainment journalist, True Crime Universe, React Bros, how MSC is inherently right-wing, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, parallels with the manosphere. I guess this is the women of the alt-right pipeline. Starting off with Gamergate. Let's look at Taylor describing at least like the misogyny slop ecosystem, and then I'll pick pieces of this article to watch. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but you guys should, because she's
women
great.
online is not a new phenomenon. For as long as the internet has existed, platforms have been imbued with misogyny. Early internet communities like 4chan and Reddit birthed a slew of men's rights forums and sexist communities. YouTube creators like Carl Benjamin, also known as Sargon of Akkad, and others built their platforms on anti-feminist content, smearing women in the media throughout the early 2010s. This hate hate towards women on the internet was exacerbated by Gamergate, a large-scale harassment campaign against women in video games and media. Gamergate officially began in 2014, but in the years following, creators affiliated with the movement orchestrated relentless attacks against high-profile women. Trump's election in 2016 was another pivotal moment. It skyrocketed a new class of women-hating pundits to fame. Reactionary political commentators like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder attacked women who spoke out during Me Too and pushed anti-SJW content. But though misogyny was spreading online, the audience for hate content about women was inherently limited. It was largely confined to reactionary online spaces and right-wing fandoms. Pop culture content, general news, and lifestyle creators weren't exactly die-hard feminists, but they mostly stuck to content within their own niches. In recent years, however, all of that has changed. Open up your phone and scroll through any social media feed. It's hard not to be bombarded with an endless stream of content attacking women. Videos and memes slandering high-profile...
It is pretty crazy. Like, it's one of those things where, you know, in your group of friends, you can get away with saying certain things, like in your in-group, in a very private in-group. Like, some jokes that I make alongside Noah, I probably would not say in public, right? Don't let your imaginations run wild. It's not like fucking insane shit, right? But one part of that is the sense of assurance, because around your friends, you know what their politics are about, and you know what their worldview is like. You know them very well. But in the outside world, people obviously can misunderstand you, right? Hassan, they're going to kill you because of that. No, it's like, it's about knowing your audience, okay? On some PewDiePie bridge incident shit, no. That's not what I'm saying. That's precisely why I said, like, don't let your imagination run rampant, right? My point is, a loving usage of the F slur towards Austin. Like, the reason why I brought that up is because even if there was, like, some semblance of like permissible joking, like misogyny or whatever, there is no way that you can do that anymore. Okay. I was even thinking about it when I was talking to Theo Vaughn, when we were talking about the weather machine, right? Like Jews owning a weather machine or Jews owning the media or whatever. Like, even as a joke, it's not something that, it's not something that you can just like comfortably say, because there are motherfuckers who believe it, you know? There is like, you just can't do it. And I'm not saying like, oh, you can't say anything anymore, they'll cancel you. Like, that's not my fear at all. I don't give a fuck. People misunderstand me all the time. They yell about their misunderstandings all the time. But what I mean is, like, there are legitimately people out there who are just like, yeah, no, that's right. Jews do have a weather machine. They did the Hawaiian wildfires, and they did the dam breaking or the levees breaking, and the hurricanes in North Carolina and all around the South. And it's just, it sucks. And the same thing goes for even like jokingly saying, it's the same thing that goes for jokingly saying like women be shopping. Like, there are so many unfiltered, unrestricted, insanely misogynistic content creators out there that make a shit ton of money just by saying women ain't shit. And it's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. It's crazy.
Women like Blake Lively, Meghan Markle, or Amber Heard have become inescapable thanks to the rise of what's being called the misogyny slop ecosystem. The misogyny slop ecosystem is a sprawling network of online content creators and communities that manufacture and boost smear campaigns against women. They target women who speak up for women's rights or have been victims of gender-based crimes like sexual assault, harassment, and abuse. The misogyny slop ecosystem has...
I call them misogyny tourists. You guys remember? This was a term I coined. This is a term I coined during the Tory Lanez criminal saga. If you remember, Tory Lanez briefly shot Megan Thee Stallion, and in that process, there were a lot of people who didn't even care about Tory Lanez necessarily, but just like got on the Tory Lanez tip. Why did they do that? Not because they cared about Tory Lanez's music or about Tory Lanez at all, but they did that specifically because a woman had been wronged in this process, and they fucking love when women are wronged. So they were basically misogyny tourists. They were like, oh, I'm a tourist here, but I'm going to take the side of the man here. Okay. We've gone so far, right, that normies are leftists now. Kind of. And it is definitely It is definitely awful. The most vile person you know moonlights as a thirsty woke baby. What? I don't know what you mean by that, but I do think that there are a lot of accounts that have boosted that, because most people see this stuff and they take note of it and they go, your exact words were, people don't like Tory Lanez, they like that he shot Megan Thee Stallion. Yes, exactly.
Radically transform the online landscape and the content that you see. Today, I'm going to be talking to Ofi Doki, the brilliant cultural commentator and content creator who coined the term. We're going to discuss the origins of misogyny slop, what creators make up this ecosystem, how it became insanely profitable, and how all of it funnels people directly into the far-right media machine. Ofi, welcome to Power User.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Okay, so to start off, how would you define misogyny slop?
So I think there's always been an element of this online, right? But I think for me, the thing that makes it slop is when it has very, very low quality standards for what you're making. Somebody who's making something that I just disagree with and they don't like a woman, that's not always going to be misogyny slop. But I think it's algorithmically driven at this point now, where we're already primed to dislike, distrust, and disbelieve women, and especially women who have come forward about being victims of something. This is already the idea that is most easy for people to pick up on and think has been what's been in their head all along. It's not introduced.
All right, I'm gonna. She gave an introduction to the Gamergate, creator funds role, law tubers. So she goes through like body language experts, T channels, law tubers, deep divers, and there are many different entertainment journalists, the true crime universe, React Bros. And what's interesting about this is that like a lot of this space plays a role in developing and normalizing right-wing perspectives, like anti-women perspectives. And then you have some very prominent female content creators such as Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and also Brett Cooper, who genuinely lean into this meta. They always assume the position that like the guy is right, okay, and they utilize the pre-existing social battles that are happening by generating the attention, by focusing on like popular subjects, especially like gossip and drama and things of that nature, and develop audiences. There are a lot of people. Andrew Tate, I think, is a obvious example of this. Like, misogyny is so poppin' that you can become one of the most famous people virtually overnight. Like, he rode that misogyny spaceship basically to fucking superstardom. Went from a guy who was getting clowned on online for saying, if you like Star Wars, you're gay, to a dude that was in front of every person under the age of 18, every young man under the age of 18 that was just like, this is my guy, he's my GOAT. Okay? The dynamic of this space, like right-wing commentary, has also changed. I think misogyny has always been popping, I fear. Okay, it has been. But I don't think that in the past, like 2-3 decades, did we ever have people who were actively saying, one, women ain't shit, and two, actively physically and emotionally harming people to a degree where they get in trouble with the law, and yet they are still seen as like heroes by the right. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like, it is definitely a little weird. Yes, misogyny has always existed, and it certainly was worse in the past as well. I mean, listen, women couldn't fucking work, you know what I mean? Like, that, not that long ago. When you think about it, the like women's right to vote is a relatively new phenomena. Do you understand how fucking insane that is? That's insane. Okay, we act like, oh no, it's over. Like, gender equality is here. It's always been here. But it's like, it wasn't that fucking long ago where women straight up could not vote, dude. That is psychotic. Same with black people. Like, oh, dude, what are you talking about? Slavery is abolished. Okay, like segregation still in maybe not fully legal ways exists in this country, but it was completely legalized until also not that long ago. So we have a lot of growing to do. All right. Having said that, I do feel like there was like a decade of kind of moving in the right direction, and there has been this massive backlash towards that And now we are bouldering towards the exact opposite direction actively. If only we could acknowledge feminism and also white feminism being a big problem against race. What? Feminism against race? What does that even mean? Brother, my grandfather alive was in an Indian boarding school taken from his family. Yeah, there's that too. God, there's so much awful shit that this country has done to its citizens and continues to do to its people. Holy fuck. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot. There is definitely still a lot of room to grow. But I do think that we have, like, our trajectory has shifted and perhaps maybe even moved in the opposite direction, especially in these last couple of years post-COVID too.
Damn, this guy's good.